Alrighty, boys and girls, let's go to the stream. Oh my god, I completely forgot that. There we are. Webcam. Alright, give me 2 seconds. I gotta get my webcam set up properly. Professional video gamer, by the way, guys. Professional video gamer. I gotta go close my window. Set my lighting up. Come on. Don't be like this. There you go, baby. Thank you. Professional video gamer. That's what I am. Just forgetting to do things all the time. Now, we gotta sort our lighting out. The camera is pointed way too high. Now it's pointed way too low. One of these days, we'll load up a stream. And we'll actually be ready. One of these days. I'm gonna match the temperature of the real light. It's quite blue. It's quite bright. It's a bit too bright. There we go. That feels right to me. It feels right. Okay. So we're going to do a patch notes review first, and then we're going to play the game a little bit. Did they finally fix the insane scaling issues? What I like to do, I like to play a game, get invested in it, walk away for a little bit, and then check it out. And so that's what we're doing today. So we're going to be going through all the patch notes. We're going to be talking about what they've changed, what's good, what's all that stuff, and then we'll play a game. So you're missing a noun in the second half of your title. What does it say? Edit. Reviewing the patch notes, then playing. I feel like everyone... So the most important thing for language is that you understood what I meant. Not that the sentence is grammatically, like, perfect. And I'm pretty sure you understood what I meant. So I don't care. It's the only thing that matters to me. Let me get this, like, just a... There we go. Actually, let me... Can I... Oh, be careful about things opening on that window. No, that's too wide. Let's get close. Yeah, that feels right. I can look at the camera. You could directly eyeline, all that jazz. We'll find a better place for my camera when we go into the game. But for now, I can live down here. Down here is fine. You're so busy these days. Well, I'm trying to refactor how I approach making videos on YouTube and Twitch. What I'm doing for now is we're going to be doing 5 4-hour live streams a week at a minimum. I'm treating that like my day job. And then there will also be one video a day, ideally one video a day. So that will be 7 days a week. That would be like the ideal. And that's what I'm striving towards, just to produce more content, especially like evergreen stuff and live stuff. Having live stuff is really valuable. Because I want to just evolve my brand. I think I'm a little bit too let's play only. And while I love that, one of my favorite things to do is this live streaming stuff. So I'm just trying to evolve the brand and move in this direction a little bit. And I want to see how that pans out. You know, I want to see how people like it. Do people like the live stream? Do people like the face cam? Do people like interacting with me? Do people like me as the personality in a more casual setting rather than focused entirely on being good at games? We're just in an experimental thingy. But yeah, but basically every day we're gonna be doing from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. 4 hours a day, every day, Monday to Friday. We won't be doing weekends because that's my time off. I don't do weekends. I did weekends for years. I worked weekends, like 10-hour days on weekends, and I need to not do that anymore. I need to have space for other things like a relationship, family, friends, all that sort of stuff. What did you do prior to professional gaming? I was uh, a variety of different things, and none of them were very successful. Right. So, I feel like streaming on Twitch will be better in the long run, even more now that you've established an audience. I'm streaming on both. Until I get offered a partner contract or exclusivity contract, I'm streaming on both. Until I get offered real terms. That's how that's going to be. There's no reason not to stream on both platforms. YouTube doesn't have an exclusivity agreement. Some of my audience is on Twitch rather than YouTube. Bada bing, bada boom. I stream to both. It costs me nothing. It costs me like €30 a month for the software that I use, which is like nothing compared to what I could potentially get out of it. So, absolutely. Do I like this camera? I feel like you should be able to see my whole head. Hang on. Let's make an adjustment here. Yeah, I think that's better. That's better. All right. All right, buddies. Let's check out the patch notes for Humankind. It has been a minute since we've played the game, and I wanted to give a game that I like so much a little bit of time in the oven, right? They need to bake it a little bit longer. Sometimes, games, they come out and they've got issues. It's normal. And I'm curious to see now, how has the game evolved? And then we'll jump in and play a game. So this was the patch on the 18th of August. I think this was a hotfix patch. And it's in tutorials. So this is mostly just bug fixes, nothing like massively changed to the game, which is pretty cool, right? We like to see a lot of bug fixes, especially like launch day. Catching a lot of those issues can be difficult. Now we've got the August 28 patch notes. This was the second week patch. A lot of people in the very launch of the game were complaining about things like oil and uranium not appearing in large enough quantities. There was issues with like the end game triggering. There's a whole host of bugs and stuff like that. So they improved the legibility of walls. That's awesome. They improved the legibility of the outpost panel. Awesome. It changed the bonus provided by some cultural wonders. I actually don't know what those changes are. Side note for the developers, please, in future, if you're making specific changes, list those specific changes in the patch notes. That's so important. As a player, I never want to get we've updated the game, and then I have to go in and look at, okay, what did you change? That frustrates me as a player because I want to know what changed. Rather than have to play half a game and then open up a window and be like, oh, actually this whole thing that you thought worked a certain way changed on you. I don't want the rug pulled out from under me. I want reliable, consistent change that I can adapt and prepare for. This is actually why a lot of people don't like games that update a lot, and that's understandable. I do like games that update a lot. I like them to be updated like once or twice a year, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. But what I really, really don't like is when you have ninja changes. Ninja changes trigger the hell out of me. And this is a ninja change. They tell us about it, but it's a bit semi-ninja change. So some small upgrades to the AI, which is great, because the AI is not the most amazing, and it's a difficult challenge to make an AI for a 4X game. That's fair. This was a huge bug that they fixed. The new tenant unlocked mandatory has been fixed. This was a major problem that I actually ran into, and it soft locked my game. So I'm glad that they got all that fixed. It looks like a lot of critical game bugs have been fixed. Yeah, a lot of end turn bugs have been fixed. Patronage meter wasn't correctly updated. Awesome. This was a problem I also ran into. Fixed an issue where queuing and building 2+ districts in the same turn cost less industry. Interesting. So you could get to a certain snowball point where you were building so many districts so quickly that you could actually build them cheaper because you were one-turning them. And so the price wasn't updating correctly, which is kind of cool. But it's good to get fixed. The Edo-Japanese have been fixed. Does not display the bonus for being next to a mountain until it's built. Okay, that's good. Anything that is a UI issue should be fixed because that's the problem. Is if you have like a UI issue where the incorrect information is being communicated to the player, that's like a massive problem because then the player's experience and their decision making is completely thrown out of whack. Fixed an issue where in some cases the AI empires offered a border treaty. Awesome. There was a few little weirdnesses with diplomacy. In a few cases, AIs don't consider all city gains when they have a lot of cities. Interesting. So that must have been something related to trade deals where you buy a resource that boosts all of your cities. Oh, that's interesting. Nomadic AI armies are assigned to regular claim missions. Cool. Fixed an issue where army 3D models can disappear when a camera sequence is played. Oh, I'm so glad for this. I had so many instances of my armies disappearing, and then you have to like save and reload, or you have to like split your units and then recombine them in a certain order. There was a lot of like little weird visual things that were happening in the game, and I'm glad to see them actually get fixed. Independent people can ransack a ruin. Fixed an issue where independent people don't lose levies over time during sieges. This is another problem I actually personally ran into, and it really triggered the hell out of me. I think I had an independent city under siege for about 40 turns before I realized, hang on a minute, why haven't I taken the city? But I'm glad to see that get fixed. Loads of UI fixes, error occurred, all sorts of great stuff. Dead population from starvation are not updated. Oh man, this just looks like an absolute host, a feast of fixes, and this is amazing. This is exactly what I like to see from a developer when they release a game, especially a big and complicated game like Humankind. I think 4X communities are a little bit more tolerant of kind of little bit wonky games, a little bit wonky on release, right? We'll sit, because we're going to be playing your game for a while. So we're happy for you to release a little bit of a wonky game, but we do expect you to fix it relatively quickly. Like, if an issue is brought up, I don't think we will wait more than like a major patch cycle. So I'm glad to see that even within the first week of this game being out, we saw massive amounts of like fixes and bug fixes. Absolutely brilliant. And I really appreciate them taking the time to do this, because like the game wasn't in an amazing state when it came out. It's a fun game and it has a lot of features, but it was in it's one of these things where they, you can test a game and you can check for a game and you can find bugs, but once your game hits like the masses, like once your game hits like even YouTubers or Twitch streamers. Like how many Twitch streams have you seen where some dude's playing some new game and he finds some absolutely wild bug because you're doing something weird with the game? And those are just cases you're not going to run into when you're doing like corporate testing, right? When you're doing like QA. It's like it's hard to find all those weird edge cases that players and streamers and stuff are going to run into. So, the real test of a game is how well do they update it after the rubber meets the road and all the issues are found. We've released a new update for Humankind. Here's the patch log. So this was the Tuesday, September 7th patch. Decreased the combat strength of the Man of War unit. The Man of War unit was kind of insane, if I remember correctly. Added the game's option to set the speed of horizontal vertical panning with keyboard inputs. Brazilian version. Okay, changes. Updated the Chinese translation. Glaciers are now icebergs. It's probably a better change. Save corruption fix due to the buyout feature being available. Awesome. Fix the cause of crash. Crash fixes. Awesome. Declare war. Fix several issues where minimum value of oil were not reached in extreme map situations. Okay, that's brilliant. And more fixes for the resource distribution stuff. Fixed an issue where settlers have no upkeep. Fixed an issue with the army upkeep formula for air and missile units. Okay, awesome. This was a big problem that a lot of people ran into. If you built like a large fleet of aircraft or missiles, you would get like a stack overflow, negative integer, whatever, on your income, and you would like end up at minus 80,000 gold per turn. So this is a huge change. Really, really glad to see these fixes. All right, now we have was this the September 7th one? So yeah, now we've got the September 19th one. And this was a relatively big patch as well, with some actual changes in it that like change how the game works. So for example, added coastal sieges. There was like a weird edge case in the game where if you had an island that was like completely built out with districts, and then someone was trying to attack it, they couldn't actually start a siege because you can't attack from the water onto land to start a siege. So this was straight up just a gameplay change where they added that ability, because they must never have ran into that edge case. It's again one of those things where, you know, players will run into it. Uh, 2 seconds. Added the notion of attacker anachronism to the limit the damage formula. I'm curious about that. I don't know what that means. Added the notification when you have only one technology left to activate the end of game trigger. I do wish there was a way that you had the option to choose when you end the game. If you're that far ahead, I feel like you should get to choose the turn that the game ends. Added information on the next threshold on pollution tooltips. Okay, pollution is probably the biggest late game problem in the game in terms of design, and it's probably not amazingly implemented at the moment. So anything that gives the player more information about pollution, about how it actually works, and any changes to pollution are super great, because it's not working right now. Is my camera going weird? Did it flicker? That's weird. Added information on the next threshold. Why is my camera flickering? That's weird. GPU load is literally 0, like 16% or something. Anyway, we'll ignore that. Improve the surrender panel. That's nice. There are some significant changes to the surrender panel that we'll talk about in the game that we actually play. Improve the pathfinding computation over the Fog of War. Yeah, the pathfinding with the Fog of War was really, really annoying, so I'm hoping that this is actually a significant and meaningful change. AI empires will now focus more on their emblematic districts and should be more efficient in their placement. My hope is that this will actually result in a slightly more challenging AI. Emblematic districts tend to be quite powerful, and so if the AI focuses on them more, we'll see them be better. They'll be stronger. AI emperors should now properly place common quarters to gain stability. This was a bit of an issue where the AI for the commons quarter placement was actually using the old commons quarter code, where clustering commons quarters together was really, really efficient to get stability. And now it's going to use the updated one, where you want to spread your commons quarters out near other districts. Merchant gains now scale more with eras. I don't know what that means. We'll have to figure out what that is. I assume that has something to do with the era stars that you earn, as well as the estate now scales quadratically with eras. Oh, I think this is to do with their abilities. So the merchant gains now scale with the era of the game a little bit better, which is good because the merchant gains were a bit, they were a bit weak in the late game, I feel like. And the estate gains now scale quadratically with eras. So my hope is that will mean you end up with a lot more, because quadratically means, era 1 you get 1, era 2 you get 4, era 3 you get 9, era 5 you get 25, era 6 you get 36, right? It's getting bigger faster. We've also reduced the expansionist cost. That's really, really good. Expansionist was the hardest star to get, and it should not be that hard, in my opinion. Reduce the impact on faith on the two initial tenets, shamanism and polytheism. Really glad to see those changes. It felt like that was the only decision you needed to make in order to have a strong religion. It was way, 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 way too strong. Reduce the per district stability impact of local pollution. Awesome. It was kind of insane. Increase the cost of claims for players on high end of territory count. I wonder what that means. Claims. So like claiming territory? Interesting. So it'll be the more land you have, the harder it will be to expand. Increase the global pollution threshold by a factor of 2.5. That's good. It felt a little bit too easy to get to your pollution threshold. Natural reserves now recapture pollution. That's also really good. It gives us another reason to build these natural reserves. I think natural reserves are one of the more interesting kind of late game districts that you get available to build, and adding more pollution interaction mechanics with them kind of builds out the pollution system and makes natural reserves really fun. I just really like building natural reserves, so anything that makes them better is something that I appreciate as a player. Balance local and global pollution effects to put more importance on local effects. That's good. The impact on FIMS doesn't not use the right feedback. Okay, so the tooltips aren't updated right now for the pollution stuff. Slightly reduces the pollution impact of airports, airfields, and other special districts to which pollution reductions don't apply. Okay, brilliant. Some infrastructures now reduce pollution from airports. Awesome. Sewage treatment plant now reduces farmer quarter pollution. That's brilliant. Loosened civics requirement to make rare civics more likely to appear. That's really nice. It did feel like you would often get to the late game and you'd still be missing like 5 or 10 civics. I don't expect in every single game that I play that I should unlock every civic in the game, but I would expect to unlock the majority of them, and so I like to see changes like this. Added a minimum value to the multiplier properties of enacting and cancelling civics. I'm pretty sure there was a massive exploit that Spiffing Brit used, which fair play to him, getting the game fixed by finding the most broken things. Changed Midas strength from capitalist to moneymaker. Interesting. Okay. I think that has to do with the AI persona abilities you can give. Fixed an issue where civics cannot be unlocked under specific conditions. Amazing. We ran into this problem so many times when we were playing multiplayer with the Yogscast. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this means we won't run into that specific issue anymore. We've fixed frame drops due to Soviet districts and trade districts. This probably had to do with like the little tiny models moving around on the map. Fixed an issue where district 3D models were no longer displayed under specific conditions. Super happy about that. Eventually, at some point in the game, your cities would just turn into this like massive grey concrete, like grayscale stuff, and it was really, really annoying because it took you out of the game a bit. Fixed an issue where army pawns disappear and combat preview gets locked. Retreating aircraft carrier carrying air units causes air units to disappear. Awesome. Anything that makes air units are always such a finicky unit to set up for these kind of games. Economy fixes. If you've reloaded the game, you could multiply use the merchant's ability. Fix an issue where Ari Ordu and Orda outposts have a different exploitation feedback compared to regular outposts. Fix an issue where cultural wonders are replaced. Okay. An unplaced state. This is actually a bug I encountered once, I think when I was merging my cities in a game, in a multiplayer game. And My my great my hanging gardens got basically like unplaced, and I lost an effect, and somebody stole a wondrous effect from me, which really triggered me. Fix an issue where local pollution thresholds is scaling with world-side. That's good. Where city stability breakdown does not list the district pollution penalty separately. Awesome. Fix an issue where player is able to fight against a ship on land after sieges. Oh, that's weird. So there's just a massive, massive, insane amount of fixes, which I'm hoping now when we go into the game, when we get in there, we're going to see a much better, much more updated, and much more robust game. I'm super glad to see all these fixes. This is what I would expect from Amplitude. Amplitude are very, very reliable about updating and fixing and improving their games. And so to be able to go like a month on from release, like to the day almost, I think 17th of September, I think the game released on the 17th of October, no, 17th of August. So to the month, they have like patch notes with nearly 200, 300 lines, maybe. I don't know how many lines that is. This is like 4 or 5 pages of patch notes of all just fixes and tweaks to get the game to run perfectly, because we found a whole bunch of issues. This is exactly what I want to see out of Amplitude. I think I would like to see maybe 1 or 2 more patches like this next month and the month after that. And then I'd like to see some more balance changes actually creep into this. And that would be like what I would expect to see, say, December, January. That would be how I, as a player, that's how long I would like to wait for a balance update. Ideally, I would like a balance update tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. It's the 22nd of September. I'd like to see a balance update tomorrow. But we're probably not going to see a balance update tomorrow. But I would think I could wait probably reasonably another 2 to 3 months at most before I would be like, okay, come on. Like, you know what the balance problems are. Let's get this patch out. But yeah, that's going to be it for the patch review. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, so that's the patch review video done. I'm going to go ahead and just save that real quick. So Morbus can edit that into a little video later. I also needed to save that video from yesterday. That was Civ 6 done. We're not going anywhere, by the way. That was me recording for YouTube. And now we'll jump in and start playing the game here in 2 seconds. I just need to do a bit of background admin stuff. Let's make a notepad. Just remind myself to do these things. All right, let's get started. We'll play some Humankind now. Virillion. I have a revenue share in this channel. I want to be pushing more content for editing. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't pay. Morbus has like a minimum payment that he can get in case the channel doesn't do like amazingly 1 month. But generally speaking, if the channel gets like 5 million views, Morbus gets paid more because he has revenue share. Because that's how you should pay your editors in YouTube. In my opinion, I don't like. If you want them to be invested in the success of your channel, they need to be paid proportional to the success of the channel. Like, it seems pretty like self-evident to me. That's pretty much how everyone, and like, it's not like this is a massive corporation where I have hundreds of employees. It's literally me and Morbus, and he does a percentage of the work, so he gets a percentage of the revenue. Okay. I'm probably like, You know what? Let's not get controversial. I was going to say I'm probably smaller than most most Twitch streamers and YouTubers, and I probably pay my editor more than most of the people who are like 5 to 10 times my size. Editor ratio should be 90 to 10. That's what we started out on, but like that will increase over time as we gather data on how much value Morbus is actually adding to the revenue streams of the channel. Okay, that's why. Now, the only thing Morbus doesn't get, right, is if you donate. That's all the donations are for me. Okay, Morbus gets ad revenue, he gets premium, all that stuff. But donations, those are for me. All right. Speaking of donations, right, beneath the stream on YouTube, there's a button right there that says join. You can join the channel, become a member of the channel, and pay $2 a month to get a special little token beside your name in chat. $2 a month to get a special token. Now that seems like a steal. Or you can super chat. Morbus gets nothing. If you wanna screw Morbus out of money, go get YouTube Red instead. Morbus gets paid out of YouTube Red. So if you want to help Morbus, get YouTube Red. If you want to help me directly, pay those $2 a month. It absolves you of all ad blockers. All right, in my opinion. What if I write for Morbus on the donation? He gets nothing. He gets nothing. Okay. Okay. Let's get started here. But Morbus is surplus value. Listen, Morbus is getting my surplus value right now, okay? I trained him. I taught him everything he knows, okay? I'm pouring my surplus value into Morbus's labor to make him productive, okay? Of course I'm allowed to exploit him. Wait, no you didn't. Shut up, Morbus. Don't be telling lies in my chat, okay? What if I only watch for Morbus's snarky memes? And you got to watch those videos like 10 times, dude, to make sure you're watching lots of ads. Right. Let's do a quick quick test thing. 4 players. I wish there was a button here to go back to defaults because I don't know what my defaults were. We're not going to play just yet. We're just going to do a quick test. Pangea, regular shape, 1 continent. Four competitors. No, not online. Get away. We'll have this biff in our game, sure. Farad Chua, thank you so much. I don't know why my alerts aren't showing up properly in my chat thing. Thank you so much for becoming a member there. Sergi Gladic, another Humankind game by Potato, and I catch it live for once. Good luck. Thank you so much. Have you ever heard of Notion? It's amazing to plan work and other management stuff. We'll look into it someday. Howdy from the grilled cheese guy. Thank you so much, Iridian Knight. Yeah, for some reason, Restream doesn't pick up members, and that's really, really triggering. So let me... Can I limit Humankind's FPS use, actually? There we go. We don't need more than 60 FPS. That's better. Game was running at like 200 FPS and like eating all of my VRAM. Do YouTube Premium viewers give you more revenue? Yes. Oh, this notepad. This is just like thoughts. Like this is just short-term memory. This is me using RAM. It's like, oh, when I finish the stream, what notes did I take during the stream? Boom, boom, boom. I do these three things, and then I go make dinner. Like that's all that it is. Let's disable this. Go to humankind. Potato doesn't actually have a short-term memory, correct? Let's just do Pangea. We're just going to do a quick test game. Some average. Average. Want to make sure we have like nothing too crazy in terms of our settings. Can I? Random if empty, perfect. Both. Standard, new world, no. Okay. We're just doing a quick test, load up, and then we'll play properly here in a few seconds. Ooh. Screens. Any new shows you'd recommend? I'm personally really excited to go see the new Dune movie, which I know isn't a show. I'm excited to watch Foundation, which I think is dropping this Friday. And then I'm excited for Wheel of Time, which comes out next month. Can't recommend them, but they're what I'm excited for. I don't really watch a whole lot of shows. The Green Knight. What is The Green Knight? King Arthur's headstrong nephew embarks on a daring quest. Appears at Camelot. Interesting. I'll have to give that a shot. Wait, they made a Foundation adaptation? Yeah, it's on the way. Right. Well, I need to open Chatterino. Because for some reason Is Twitch chat working? Are you guys typing? You can only watch 2 screens at once. Far more assiduously than Twitch comments? Well, I have a thing that puts both Twitch... So here's the problem, right? I have both Twitch and YouTube comments in the same stream. And what happens is there's just like 10 times more YouTube comments than there are Twitch comments. So like for every one Twitch comment that gets sent, there's only a 10% chance that I pick it out of like the random selection of comments I look at. So just statistically, because there's less, I read less Twitch comments. Hi Potato, how's it going, Clown Carlo? He just never pay attention to us? No, it's like literally, like, hang on. This is what it looks like. There's just a stream of comments, right? And the majority of them are from YouTube. You lied about the choices, Potato Man? I did. I very much so lied. Okay. We'll play like 4 or 5 turns. So the auto explore thing I think was fixed. Where they don't just auto beeline things, right? Alright. Kind of. Maybe not. Yeah, because there was a curiosity here and it didn't beeline it. That's good. That probably should have been fixed. We'll have a look. Let's see what it does. We're just testing it right now. No, it looks like they fixed Auto Explore and made it less of a radar, because this looks a bit more reasonable for what I would expect an Auto Explorer to do. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're already seeing the effects of like a lot of patch notes. They have a trial, so I'm just going to wait until it's all released and do a trial and watch it all. Is that Apple TV, Morris? I should give this game another shot, Clowny Carlo. Yeah, you should definitely do that. I wish cultures picked at each age were locked until you reach a level in their affinity in the current era. What would you think about that? I think that's a cool idea, but that does present more difficult design challenges. I think it's an interesting idea. I think it could be a fun way to play. I don't know if it would work as a game rule, Evan Miliano, but it's a good idea. It's maybe good idea is maybe being a bit generous. It's an interesting idea that I'd be willing to try. Would be my take. Yo, Potato, always a pleasure to catch your streams. Keep up the good work. Yeah, cheers. Let me go ahead and just change. We're going to actually start playing. Actually, I don't need to change the title because we're at the playing the game portion. I'm about to upload more stuff to your Google Drive. You might want to be ready to pause your sync. Yeah, hang on. Google Drive, open. It's like an awkward time to do that. Just throw it up. Downloading is fine, I think. Right. Download and upload should be independent, so it shouldn't be a problem. Do units move more distance in shorter game modes? No. Okay. What we're going to be doing now is we're going to be doing a bit of recording. I already have an idea of the kind of game that I'd like to do today. So we're going to be having a bit of fun. Actually, maybe I'll save that idea for another time. I was thinking of trying to turn the entire world into Coruscant, like do a zero water map and then put a district on every single tile of the map and then combine it all into one gigacity on a tiny map. What do you guys think of that? Otherwise, we can just do a more regular gameplay. Because I feel like that would actually work better as like a more heavily edited video. Will you have enough turns until the game ends? I mean, we can just play beyond the turn end. Sounds like a cool idea. Oh yeah, we'll make a Gigacity then. Okay. What I'm going to be doing is recording the video. At various points I'm going to say I'll see you guys later. The stream isn't actually over. That's me just ending the recording. Hey Spuddies, Potato Whiskey here and welcome to Humankind. It's been a hot minute since we played the game. And in that time, it's been about a month since the game has come out and there's been a massive amount of patch notes to the game. If you want to check out my patch notes review, you can just go like, bam, over somewhere here, there'll be like a little bing and a thing will appear and maybe like a link in the description and stuff like that. You can go check out my review of the patch notes, see what I think of them. Spoiler alert, I think the patches are great. So what I want to do today is a little bit unusual. We're actually going to be playing on like a very small map, like a tiny map. And there's only going to be 3 people on this map because we want to do something a little bit different. We're going to be trying to make Coruscant, basically, where we coat the entire map in districts. So the difficulty is a little bit less important to me here, this game, because the AI is theoretically just a speed bump in my pathway to making Coruscant. But just for the sake of fun, I'll put it on Humankind regardless. 2 seconds. Okay. So this is the Humankind Croissant Challenge. We're playing on a tiny world with no ocean, 100% landmass. I'm going to turn down no lakes. We want 0 water, ideally, here. I will take some rivers, because rivers are helpful. And I'll make it a relatively flat world, just to make my life a little bit easier. But without further ado, let's just go. We are playing with the Spiffing Brit and Victor today. Although, actually, do I have Lewis? Yeah, I've got Lewis. Let's throw Lewis in, right? We'll play with the Spiff and Lewis like we're playing an armchair admirals. Oh yeah, someone made a good point about if I have no lakes, where will the rivers go? So let's just have a few. We'll have a few lakes.
Our universe contains infinite stories, most of which are across the world. Nascent societies are taking a deep breath, looking across the land.
Now this is a nice starting location. We already can see Ebony, which gives you 3 production per city and city center, administrative center. Amazing. And if I can get the wondrous effect, that's 5% industry per Ebony. We've also got over here gemstones, which are not quite as good because they rely on actually building market quarters, but we might go for a few market quarters this game. Let's begin our exploration. Ooh, we already found food. That's perfect. Wait a minute, am I on Blitzbleed?
Delicious. Though next time it might be better if you watched it.
Dude, I can't believe I just spent so long doing it. Alright, let's quickly just remake this. Alright, we had a bit of a false start. I forgot to switch the game speed because I was doing a test game on Blitz. And now I feel like an absolute idiot. Pity me. Okay, pitying is over now. We just play the game. I'm so triggered that we lost that start. It was Ebony! Ebony is so good! Ew, who wants tea? Seriously, who wants to spawn near tea?
What sort of lives will they have?
At least we have incense. Incense is pretty good because that's just straight up plus 5 money per city. Tea is 2% food, which is like... Why is there water? Did it not save my game settings? Oh my... Go to your happy place, potato. Go to your happy place. Okay. It didn't save the shape of my world. Okay. All right. Trying again, boys. Round 3, okay? We're on our third attempt. We can do it, though. I believe in us, all right? We're going to get a flat world. Oh my god, look! Miraculously, after 3 restarts, we spawned near coffee. Definitely wasn't planned on that one. Although coffee is sick as hell because it's +1 food per farmer, so it's actually like really good scaling on that. Dude, this start location, if I could just drop a city, like an outpost right here, that'd be sick as hell. Look how much food and production is in this area. Hell yeah. But I think we'll walk along the river. We gotta find... Ooh, science is over there. I would rather find food early than science. But I will take science if I can't find anything else.
Just because a culture died out doesn't mean it wasn't worthy of study.
I'd really like to place this outpost. Yeah, I'll walk this way. We'll go back onto the river. We'll kind of do a loop. It's not efficient, but I want that outpost placed. Now, I could do a 5 and 10 this turn or a 5 and 14 next turn. I feel like the 5 and 14 next turn is thick as hell. Although that is a 10 and an 11 down there. I really should consider where my face cam goes this game. Because this bottom left of the screen is where a lot of information actually goes. This definitely isn't in the way of the gameplay, right? What about up here? Where do I go? Where do I put this that I'm not in the way? Like here? I guess you don't get to see the end turn button, all right? That's you just have to accept it that you don't get to see the end turn button, all right? Oh god, now there's 2 of them. Ah! Okay. Try to make it smaller. Hang on. You want me to be... Is that good enough? What's up, guys? All right, we'll pop an outpost down here because it's a sick as hell outpost. Nice. We've got the Fungal Hoarder. So we can retain our knowledge and get +2 science. I like +2 science. We get Bountiful, which is +5 food, or cheaper tech. Getting +2 science gets us closer to choosing that tradition thing, and I like that. That's helpful. We've got 2 options for food. I think I'll take the food on the river because it's a little bit easier to get to. Please be almost enough food. Then I can go here or here. I think I'll move back over here for the food. If I can duplicate, I'll be happy. Boom. The grey goo has begun. We have duplicated our guys. Ah, yes, another food. Awesome. It should be potatoes faced with the game in the bottom right. True. God, this game is so buttery smooth sometimes. It actually just makes me so happy. Am I getting tearing? No. The only issue is you can't see what turn it is. God damn it. There's nowhere to put this camera. Hold on. How's that? All right, I'm tiny. Bits of my head are missing. You don't get a lot of expressions, but here we go. We're doing it live. I'm a professional video game streamer, by the way. Ooh, nice. 3 signs out of that 1 curiosity. I might be able to get the thing. Oh, yes. Give me this food. I will break one off. I can get to this curiosity and kill the deer. Boom, amazing. We got the knowledge star. Perfect. We'll kill the deer and pillage the sanctuary. Dear boy. Aha. Wow, he almost did as much damage to me as I did to him. Jesus, he's holding up here. There we go. That's the kind of fight we needed. All right, perfect. We've got a mammoth here that we could kill, but we're kind of out of range of it. I could reach this next turn. I'd rather go for the curiosity. Curiosity's value here. So we could now choose our tribe's legacy, which is the unique event you get if you get 10 signs in the Neolithic era. Wattle and Daub gives us +1 industry per population. Plant lore gives us food per population. And astronomy gives us science. I feel like if we're going to like rank all of these, I feel like plant lore is the weakest unless you go for a lot of cities. Considering this game, we're going to be going for trying to make one gigantic city that spans the entire world. I think plant lore is not good for us this game. Wattle and Daub, on the other hand, is quite good because it gives you a consistent amount of production scaling throughout the entire game, whereas eventually science kind of doesn't really matter beyond a certain point. So I feel like Wattle and Daub is the right choice for us to do a Coruscant run. And now we're able to advance to the next era. I'll probably do that next turn. About 9 turns in the Neolithic era feels right to me. You can stay like super long in the Neolithic era and get like 1,000,000 scouts if you want. But you know. All right, let's go ahead and pillage that sanctuary to get another population. We'll grab another one of these. And then we'll pillage this sanctuary to get another population. If I could pick up another 3 population this turn, I'd be super happy. But I will make do with less than that. For sure. We have a event. +2 food on city or outpost. That's helpful. +2 food for the whole game. Gonna be great. The question is, do I want to move my city here? No, I think I'm happy to live in the coffee area because we're also near marble. All right, we'll end the turn and we'll get our benefits. There's a growth star, perfect, and now we can advance. So who do we want to advance off? If we're trying to make Coruscant, what we really, really want is anything that scales, right? Anything that scales throughout the entire game is a huge boost. Morbus, cut this. Thank you so much, Andrew Asuman. Thank you for becoming, or Andrew Osman, for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate you. All right, recut. If we want there to be one single giant city, in the world, things like the Zhou are really powerful. +2 stability on district scales across our entire empire. It's super, super powerful. And it gives us a really good bit of science in the early game to kind of power through. Babylon is also super powerful here because of the astronomy house, which gives you +1 food per researcher, which is a bit like reducing the food upkeep over your scientists significantly. And even at a certain point, if you get enough of these astronomy houses, actually giving you a food surplus. So this is another really great option for us for the ancient era. The Egyptians might arguably be our best choice for the Coruscant run because we're going to be trying to covering the entire city in districts, and they give us a 10% district industry cost reduction. That is an insane amount of production saved across the entire game. So it might even be the kind of game here where we go for the Egyptians and we rush for the pyramids. And I think considering we're trying to build Coruscant, we have to go for the Egyptians. So that's who I'm going to pick. I think I can snag myself another population here if I kill this mammoth right before we go into the next era, which is perfect. It gives me plenty of scouts to disband into my city, or even just fight deer and stuff.
Ah, the challenges of a young entering this era as the Egyptians then. No prizes for guessing how you plan to leave your mark.
Boom, so we are the Egyptians and we can settle our first city. Boom, here's Memphis, but we're actually going to be renaming it to Coruscant. I think that's how you spell it. It's been a long time since I've looked up Star Wars lore. Now, Coruscant wasn't the only city world in Star Wars, but it is the most recognizable. It's the one that everyone knows about, right? It's a giant, massive skyscraper city on a planet. Actually, the lore of Coruscant is really, really cool. It has like different layers and like depending on your socioeconomic status, like depends on which layer you live on and stuff like that. At least that's from what I remember. It's been a long time since I've done like Star Wars lore. We'll start with a pottery workshop because we want all of the influence that we can get so we can pick up the pyramids of Giza. We are rushing this as hard as possible. You can't claim territory without a minimum of 61 influence. Oh, wow. That's a different price. I don't remember it being that expensive to claim land. They must have really changed how expensive it is based on how much land you have. We do have coffee, which would give us +1 food per farmers, and we could get both of those online really early. So if we wanted to go for like an early game food build and do a lot of growing, maybe like calendar into masonry type of build, we could do that. And I kind of like the idea. So that would mean, but I would spend a lot of my early production building artisans' quarters. But if we really look at my city, it's basically completely covered in woods. So it feels like carpentry is the right choice for the the lumber yard. We've already discovered the borders of another player, and I think that might be Spiffing Brit's color. So I have something to worry about. '61 influence for our first outpost. That seems like a crazy amount to spend. Now, what I think I want to do is in my capital city, I'd like to put an Egyptian pyramid in like a triangle on each of these three squares. So one here, one here, one here, one here. Ideally, this would be productive terrain to do that in, but that'll mean that all three of these will be makers' quarters touching two other makers' quarters, and so I'll just get like maximum benefit from it. This isn't like the perfect spot to do it, but it's not a bad spot to do it either. I think I'm going to delete one of my scouts here to put it into my city because that's going to be worth 2 influence per turn, especially if I work him as a farmer.
Greetings to the Nubians.
Ah, we've met the Nubians. Nice to meet you. And this is Spiff himself. Let's see if he'd like to do a luxury trade this early. And he will. Awesome. So we'll be able to buy and sell luxuries to him straight away. And that'll be helpful for our early game survival.
And now you've met the Mycenaeans. Let's hope relations go well.
Mycenaeans are pretty scary too. Lewis is playing those. He will give me a non-aggression pact, though, so I'll take that. How would you like to trade luxuries? Okay, so we have relatively good relationships with the AIs already. But man, is it expensive to expand. It'll make my life a little bit harder, but we'll be able to form Coruscant, no problem.
You have my ear.
The If I didn't explain that appropriately, the reason that population gives you influence is because every population in your city gives you influence based on the stability of the city. If the city has 90 to 100% stability, you get 2 influence per population in that city, which is pretty useful to know if you want to know how the influence spreading mechanic works. You got to have a lot of influence generation to spread your culture around the map. Ooh, we found a curiosity and that finished carpentry for me. That's exactly what I would like to see. So I'll finish this maker's quarter. Do I go straight for the lumber mill? That's worth like 6. It's worth like 8 production in the lumber yard. Maybe I don't go for that straight away. I'd rather get my pyramids up. So Altair is finished. We're going to attach that to my capital and begin building our triangle of Nubian pyramids. First thing though, we are going to get ourselves another maker's quarter on this river. Attaching this outpost has given us a huge boost to our industry, but not a very big boost to our food. Nice, we found Mount Roraima and a couple of curiosities, which finished calendar for us. I kind of wish I could claim Mount Roraima, but things are a little bit expensive over here, and I need to start saving for the pyramids. So ideally, if I'm going to be doing 3 Egyptian pyramids in this little corner. I'd want them to be completely surrounded in Maker's Quarters as well, because they get +3 industry per adjacent Maker's Quarter, so they scale off that really well. So that's something I'm going to want to keep in mind as I'm planning my city, is to kind of, take advantage of scaling like that. Let's finish this archer, so we have another military unit, ideally one that can protect me, and I want to see if I can buy these like artisan quarters eventually. But the Egyptian pyramid is more important to me, so I'm going to place it here because that's worth +10, and then I'll be able to use the adjacency of this Egyptian pyramid to place another one here, and then eventually another one here. I've modified the camera again. Pray I don't modify it further. Let's grab another outpost. So I'm going to go for 2 outposts and then no more. This is all the outposts I'm going for. I'll attach this to my city and then we'll rush the pyramids with huge production. Now, I might not get it if one of the other AIs rolls for it, but we'll see how that goes. How does Spiff feel about a non-aggression pact? He'll actually take that. Also, Spiff, have you been working out, man? Looking good in your weird leopard thing. I don't know what that is, but man, you're doing hard work. Ooh, the Nubians want to trade everything. I'll take that deal. Do they actually have anything to sell me? I could grab ambergris. That would be +5 science. How much is that? 39 gold? Easily. 39 gold for 5 science per turn and +1 gold per turn from trade routes is amazing.
So many interesting questions arise. Barter or currency? Exchange rates? Tolls and taxes to fill your coffers?
Morbus cut for donations. A nice cure for boredom while waiting for my flight back to work. Thank you so much, Mobile X and Rude Irish Knight. Love the Davids and great tips. Thanks so much, buddy, for your donationinos. Appreciate it. Did they fix Auto Explore? Yes, they did. Hey, it's Bikini. How's it going, buddy? I still have to play Rainbow Six Siege with you. I have it installed, okay? I have it installed. That's as far as I've gotten. Oh, nice. We picked up a warrior, so let's go ahead and send that back to our homeland. He'll play it one day, I'm sure. Copium. Mark, I have already... mark my words. I will play Rainbow Six soon, TM. All right, cool. So we built our very first pyramid, which now it might start to make a little bit more sense why I've placed it like this. So before, I could get like 15 production over here, but only 10 here. But if I place this here, it's actually boosting both of these districts. And then when I get the third one, they'll all get +9. So this district will actually end up +1 production over here, relative. And then they'll also be in a perfect position where I can place an industrial zone that touches both of every district, basically. And the nice thing too is that the Egyptian pyramid gives you a little bit of influence as well, so we'll get closer to the pyramids. I am going to prioritize getting my coffee now, though, so that I can grow more population. So I'll probably go like coffee and granary real quick, because my influence is just a little bit too low. Oh my god, I completely forgot that I have civics! What am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I playing this game? What is wrong with me? I forgot the most important mechanic in the game. Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and take the +5 influence on main plaza. I just feel like such a moron. Minus 50% on outpost create. Okay. Jesus Christ. Oh, no, never mind. They only became available this turn. I'm fine. No, I didn't mess up. The game tricked me, alright? I'm not an idiot. I'm a pro player. I'm the only humankind professional player that exists, alright? Because I'm probably the only person who makes a living playing this game. Listen, I don't know. Don't ask me questions. I know this is a video and live stream and people can't ask me questions that I can read. But still, don't ask me questions. What the hell is this? A deer is attacking me, or am I attacking? How dare you approach me? That's right, I am the only pro-tato. Boom, there's masonry. We got both of our coffee online, which I'm hoping the AI will actually buy off me and net me a little bit of gold. my god, there's like a whole wildlands over here just filled with wildlife and sanctuaries and curiosities. That's amazing. We're definitely going to want irrigation this game because a lot of our outposts are settled on rivers, and we'll need the stability from Public Fountain to sustain our capital as well. Another potato live stream. Guess what, buddy? Every day from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Irish time, British Standard Time, British Summer Time, whichever one it is, we're going to be live streaming 4 hours a day, Monday to Friday. Not weekends, though, because I need to have a life. And that's on top of the videos. You can watch the sausage be made if you come follow me at twitch.tv/PotatoWhiskey or here on YouTube. All right, let's attach. Boom. Third territory activated. Now my capital is losing stability, but that's fine. The most important thing is we'll be able to place another Egyptian pyramid here, and we'll get ourselves a pair of these tasty, tasty marble resources as well, although not quite yet.
For you.
So now we're going to save for the pyramids. We've got our basic city up and running. We've got some basics. We're killing mammoths. The whole 9 yards. Ooh, time to found our religion. +5 faith on main plaza or +1 faith on administrative center. This feels like a very obvious choice for +5 faith on main plaza because you need to have 5 administrative centers to... You need to have 6 to beat this. So polytheism just seems absolutely better in every case. Except for like the hyper late game when we combine all our territories into a single city. I think somebody is like cooking ham in my house and it smells like feet and it's fucking disgusting. I apologize for swearing, but it's absolutely rancid. It like smells like someone is boiling socks. And it's absolutely horrendously gross. I don't need the production. I'm going to take the money instead because I am low on money. And I still want to get like good era score. Boom. First builder star from finishing a pyramid. Lovely stuff. Got ourselves another warrior. Let's send that back to the capital. I had another warrior on the way somewhere, and I don't know what happened to them. Oh, he's over here. Yeah, let's send him back to the capital. Let's go, baby. Make your way over there. Join the capital. Be a stability stick. Oh my god, there's so many curiosities! No. Oh, you can't... Can you, like, shift Q moves? I don't think so. Alt Q? No. I just have to remember. Ooh, we definitely want to pick up ebony from Spiff, but I think I need a little bit more money in the bank before I can do that. Nice, we're making good progress. We got 3 bronze stars already. We are super behind the AI though, especially our good friend Spiffing Brit, who's kind of running away with the game right now, but hopefully we don't fall too far behind. Let's grab ourselves ebony, because that's going to be worth 9 production in my capital, as well as +4 stability. Now, they're only 59 gold each, so I'll grab both of them. Plus, they give me an extra +1 gold per turn. So I end up with a really, really nice boost to my production in here. And it keeps my stability from falling too low.
Maker's quarters, an empire could build all sorts of
Nice, boom, we got our 3 pyramids together. So each of these pyramids is getting +3 production for each 2 pyramids adjacent to it. So that's +6. And if I come in here, now when I place these, they get boosted even more. And that'll scale throughout the whole game. So this is going to be like a giant production muscle that I use to expand my city and empire and stuff like that. Right now, my biggest problem is food. I'm not growing enough and getting enough influence. I've also got a little bit of stability issues. And probably the best way to deal with stability issues is to get these luxuries online, because that'll also sell those resources to the AI. Ooh, Spiff wants to share maps with me. Ugu Spiff, share your map with me, senpai. Why did I say that? Oh my god, look at this jerk claiming territory right on my border. Wait, what is this? No. I'm being attacked. Retreat. 2 archers. It's too many archers. It's more than 0. It's too many. Now that we've got all our warriors and archers together, I'm going to get 1 more archer so we can go attack this neutral city of Akkad, and that would be a great way for us to expand our empire and get our second city in this era. So next turn we can claim the pyramids. I'm really looking forward to that, because once we have the pyramids claimed, our build is like locked in and we're doing really, really well. I do need to start thinking about going up to the next era, however. So claiming stars should be a big part of that. Let's go ahead and claim the Pyramid of Giza. Boom. Now the really powerful thing here is a minus 25% district industry cost. So combined with Egypt, we're going to be paying only 2/3 of the normal price for buying a district, or like building a district rather. Which I don't think I need to tell you is like a huge discount. Ooh, we got some Nubian archers. You guys need to run away or you'll get caught in the neutral lands. Unless we have a non-aggression. Yeah, we have a non-aggression. They won't attack me, actually. So I think now is the time that we activate Landraiser. Grab ourselves lumber yards and stoneworks to pump up the production of this city. And then immediately get the pyramid, because that's worth 20 stability as well. And it'll also exploit terrain around it, which is really, really cool. I need 45 influence to grab this territory, and I super want it because it has ebony and a bunch of other stuff. So Spiff went with the Huns. Let's see if we can... yeah, how about an alliance there? You're in an alliance with the Huns. Okay, he won't attack me anymore. All right, we have secured... oh, he wants 100. He wants 219 gold. Damn you. We've secured our protection. He won't attack us. We'll be fine. Diplomacy. It's the most important thing that you can do in a game. It's just diplomacy. Now, this will annoy Orange slightly, but I think it's necessary. He did claim territory on my border, too. So if he's got an issue with that, that's nothing got to do with me. Morbus cut for donation. P. Shingles, good night, Potato. Always a blast catching your stream. Please look after Morbius. I like that you named him incorrectly, which really triggers him. 3 a.m. here in New Zealand. Thank you so much, P. Shingles. I love you, buddy. I really need these units to not block me. Can we get a non-aggression pact, please? He refused. Dude, these units are gonna like do this zone of control thing that really triggers me. What's our relationship like? Treaty proposal refused. I'm gonna make that demand. I'll withdraw my demands. I don't really want to fight these units. 20 combat strength, 18 combat strength. In order to fight this fight, I would need to make sure that I enacted army composition. Which I guess I can do that next turn if he's still being a thorn in my side. Let's take reason here. I want that +5 science per turn. That'll be helpful because it'll get converted into production. I'll do 2 more turns of being production locked in here. And then I'll switch back because I don't think I can really take much more of just being production locked. Alright, looks like he ran away. So we can attack the city of Akkad. And I don't think they should be able to get their reinforcements in. Oh, they are. Alright, well, that's fine. Let's begin the assault. We'll manually battle it. Deploy our melee units on the front line. That's fine. We'll end deployment. I'll actually get you to block reinforcements. Oh, you can't quite make it there, unfortunately. I guess we'll just start peppering. Oh, he really didn't take much damage there, and he's way strong. Alright, I guess we just block any reinforcements from getting over here. 26, 22, that's a good trade for me. Considering I have archers supporting. Here we go, here comes the chariot. But the chariot does have to come uphill, which is my one advantage. Let's retreat the swordsman out. I want to keep him alive. We'll shoot the chariot for maximum damage. We'll take a step back to protect our archers as well. That's kind of what I expected. We'll continue this battle next turn. We should be able to win this pretty handily. We're stronger overall. We've generally done more damage. We should be able to kill this unit to prevent it doing any more damage. We should be able to take the city location. And then we should be able to kill maybe the warrior or the horse. Let's deactivate the builder mode in here because I need my science and money to start coming back, or else I just never will get enough of these stars. It's time to continue the battle. The battle for Coruscant. I think I shoot here, I take over the city location, and then I can attack down with a massive combat advantage. Take 23 damage, which is reasonable. Step into this fortress. Make sure I massively damage this chariot and just accept any damage I take. Perfect. Alright, it worked out exactly how we hoped. Managed to completely clear this city out without any casualties, and we get an expansionist star. Perfect. I wish I could step my units up into the city the turn after battle. We definitely want to take multiculturalism for the +1 influence on main plaza and administrative centers. It's going to be a lot of influence throughout the whole game. So now we're up to 32 per turn, which is pretty damn respectable.
I guess we're going to see how far that metaphor applies to human society.
So we're not far off the pyramids. In order to get my next expansionist star, I need one more territory, which I can very easily get in Akkad. And I'll probably be pretty aggressive with Mycenae now. Try to build a muscle over here of Egyptian districts, maybe. Pottery workshop for sure we go for first. I'm going to grab Parsimonious on Akkad. I really need that little bit of money trickle. I found a lot of curiosities, which is making up for my science gain. But getting that first merchant star is going to be a real challenge for me. Speaking of which, if I'm going to be going for that, I really should be trading for everything I can get. I'll grab a coffee off Spiff. It'll only be 73 gold, and that'll give me an extra food on all of my farmers. Saffron is also incredible, actually, if I think about it. I'll want like lots of farmers' quarters later on. In fact, I'll have like entire sections of the map dedicated to farmers' quarters just to feed my population. So we have plenty of production. So I think if I'm doing an expert policy here, production is like my least important thing right now because I have loads of production and I got loads of science from finding curiosities. So I really just want to look for gold. So that means my population management is going to be like food first because I have very little food and I need to like sustain my city. If I take these guys off, my city will starve. And I need population to hit the agrarian stars. So that's why I'm prioritizing it like that. Then it's probably like food, money, and then science or production. I wish I could like drag these on top of each other to evenly distribute between them. I do wish that the city management stuff had like a little bit more granularity to it. This is a situation a lot of people find themselves in, actually, when they're trapped inside someone's borders and you can't move, or you'll get you'll have to declare war to move. You actually aren't stuck here. All you have to do is click outside their border, like somewhere else. So, for example, I don't want to get trapped between their cities, so I'll just like make my way back out this way. As long as you click outside of their territory, it won't force you to declare war on them. This is a thing a lot of people ran into and told me about. And so hopefully explaining that will get you out of that issue. Oh, they're actually even attacking me. Well, I'm trying to leave, dude. You know, you gotta give me time to leave.
What's on your mind today?
So they're demanding Akkad. I'm refusing that. I'm going to make a demand that they surrender to the Huns.
I would not dare to ask this. Your behavior
I'm going to make a demand that they give me Mount Roraima and that they pay me for attacking me. So now I'll be getting war support increases.
act of sheer stupidity.
They do have a slightly stronger army than me, but that's fine. I should be able to survive, no problem. Let's actually, speaking of, let's make sure we pick up army composition for the extra combat strength.
That people shouldn't have to do a job unless they want to.
Nice. We got a world deed for building a wonder. We got the pyramids. Everything should be way cheaper now.
All other projects will be measured.
That's perfect. Amazing. We have like massively increased our empire. I'm going to go ahead and grab myself flood irrigation for +2 food on my river tiles because I do have at least 6, 7, like a good few river tiles in my empire that are being exploited. So that food's going to be huge in Coruscant. We've got a district to attach to Akkad. Perfect. Boom. There's another expansionist star. We can advance in theory, and they did pick up the Huns. We actually got a gold expansionist star this era, and that's the first time I've ever gotten a gold expansionist star. The real question is, can I get any more stars in the 5 or 6 turns that I think I would be willing to stay in this era? And the answer is probably yes. I will almost certainly be able to get the builder star here, and that's what I'm going to focus on primarily, is building districts. So I'll even use my gold here, boom, to finish that district, and then I can build another Nubian pyramid and see if I can get a little bit of a production muscle going on over here. I would really like the growth star if I could get it.
It gladdens my heart to see.
So unfortunately, I'm under attack here, and there's no way for me to escape, which really, really sucks. I'll just instantly resolve it, let my units die. It's whatever. If I was going to advance, and remember, we're trying to build a gigacity, where a single city encompasses the entire continent. Who would be best for that? Well, the Huns would be really good for expanding and grabbing territory, because they're quite good at that. The Romans are good at war. The Achaemenid Persians give you more city caps and stability per city, but that doesn't seem like it really helps me. The Mayans give you industry per worker, as well as a load of production, but we already have plenty of production coming from our Egyptian thing. The Mauryans give you lots of influence, which might help combining our cities together. The Goths are good at war, and then there's the Celts that give you +2 food per farmer on cities and outposts. The Nemetan gives you +3 food per number of attached territories and a little bit of faith. I feel like the Celts might actually be really good here, because having a massive gigacity is going to be really hard to keep feeding. The Carthaginians, on the other hand, have that -25% on constructibles buyout cost, and that seems really good. As well as the Kothon, we could almost certainly make use of the Kothon along the sort of northern coastlines of Coruscant. Now, theoretically, these shouldn't be here, but they are, so we're going to like deal with them. But a couple of harbors, like Kothons along here, would be a good amount of food and production. The Axumites are worth a lot of money. The Great Obelisk is quite good too. So if I'm building a gigacity, I feel like the Celts work really nicely for what we're doing here. So I think I'll go Celts. But I'm not going to switch into them just yet. I would like to get at least one more star if not 2 if I could. So there's the Estate Star, perfect. How many more districts do I need? 1 more for the next star. Okay, we'll see if we can pull that off. There's the builder star. I need 5 more builder districts. Can I do that in 4 turns, do you think? It might be possible. Especially because things like copper counts as a district. So that's like 1. Yeah, I think we can do it. I think we can go for the golden star here. Plus, this is worth like double points for me. So I'm definitely going for it. Andrew Komarov, when you reach the industrial area, go Mexico. They're insane for food generation in big cities. We'll see. We'll see. I definitely feel like I could go attack Hagmatana. That's almost certainly what I'm going to do. I could also 1-turn an obelisk, although I don't think that counts as a district. Does it? Maybe it does. Where do I want my food? I feel like there's a nice food triangle right here to help grow the city. Although I really don't love building farmers' quarters. I think if I'm going to build anything, it's going to be makers' quarters around my pyramids. Nice, we grabbed a merchant star as well. So this is like actually a real... I just wish I had gotten more kills. That's the only thing I missed out on. But otherwise, this has been a great era. I do want this, for sure. Whew, the Huns, man. Mycenae made a mistake going to war with Spiff, I assume, because he's the Huns, and that shit's crazy. Lewis, what are you doing, man? I popped an outpost down here purely just so I could spend a little bit of my influence picking up a few extra districts so I could advance slightly earlier. Because now we have the gold star for builders. We got a ton of fame. We're relatively competitive and we can go to the next era. Yeah, I don't think we're going to pick up any more before we advance. So now is the time to advance. yeah, let's grab the Celts. We're going to go take the Celts. They have a relatively strong unit that doesn't require any strategics, and they have really good food. But on that note, that's going to be the end of this episode of Humankind. Make sure to tune in when the next one comes out. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! Okay, we're not really ending the stream, but we are going to adopt the Celts. I'm going to try to break up Humankind into, like, each era is a video. That's why that was a long episode. Stream isn't over. Oh my god, stop. The stream is not over. We're recording episodes. Sweet boy. I'm going to take a little sip of my water, though. Do you do your YouTube editing yourself? No, I pay a guy to do it. I'll take like 2 minutes here, check my phone, check my emails, make sure nobody has sent me anything like, oh god, you need to like fix this immediately. Starship Troopers, Terran Command, cool, cool, cool. Alright, nothing important came in, so we're good. Do you play them in graphics cards? Do the outros in post, brah? Or you guys could just not be brainless, all right? You guys could just expand your mind. Why would I do more work when I could ask other people to do more work? Think, dude. I want to clean this up, though. Let's find a nice regular place for my webcam. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, well, we'll figure that out in a minute. There. That feels about right for me. This is like difficult. I mean, let me make OBS bigger while I do this, actually. I think I can safely put it here. Oh yeah, they line up really nicely. Okay, perfect. Face has to go somewhere, boys. Covering up unit information, the best place it could go. You could crop the sides that are unused. I like having wide shots in my camera. Oh, that's the wrong scene. Let me rename this. All right, I guess that doesn't work the way I wanted it to. Okay, let's get started. All right, no, I'll talk to chat for like 5 minutes. Let's see. I know the stream is over. He's recording YouTube videos as he's streaming. Yeah. But I'm also live. Like, I still read chat. I just don't always respond to chat because that might take away from the YouTube video. It's kind of like a thing where you're trying to do both. We're trying to keep the illusion that it's like a dedicated YouTube video, but also have the interactivity of having a YouTube chat. Because you guys will notice that you'll say something in chat and I'll spot it, and then I'll immediately try to organically bring it up in gameplay. So in a way, you guys are actually helping me make my videos. Double dipping 5-head. Well, that's kind of like what everyone does, realistically. Everyone like streams and then uses those streams to make YouTube videos. And so I'm just trying to do it like in an efficient way that makes sense for me and isn't jarring for my audience. So that's where we're at right now. It's an experiment. We're going to be doing it for a little while. I feel so used. Did Spiff conquer Mycenae? I believe he has occupied it. That's what this color means. And I'll talk about that next episode. We should get paid for this. Double dipping is the best way to do it. Yeah, it's the way most content creators do it, and this is just my style of doing it, and I think it's a pretty reasonable way to do it. Monka S. Spiff. Yeah, Spiff is scary as heck right now. Although the good news is he doesn't have that much fame. And he's playing the Huns, so his economy is going to tank unless he gets serious gains in this war. And I've been more or less left alone because Spiff is my ally, and I'm buying stuff off him. And I should be scaling pretty hard now, especially because we're agrarian. So growing population is going to be the big focus of our next era. So wanting to build these Nemetans in at least pairs and in areas where farms are going to go is for sure going to be a priority for me, because like there's a 24 food one right there. Let's see. Yeah, aside from being slightly better farmers' quarters, they're not actually like insane. They're just good, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them just being good. I'll accept good. I'm trying to think where would be a really good spot to put one. Ideally, I would have two touching each other. That's why the border of these things is so good. Because I could do one here and here. Here and here. Or maybe like farmer's quarter. Or like Nemetan, Nemetan, farmer's quarter. Make a little muscle of superpower. Yeah, superpower muscle here. I think that's actually what we're going to do when we jump into the game. I like building little clusters of districts. It's really satisfying to me. I just realized this game doesn't have a minimap because you can zoom out so much. Yeah, it's like the Supreme Commander of 4X games. I wish, I don't love the gray. I feel like there's so much about this game that's almost amazing. And then it's just like, and it just falls like one step down the ladder it should be at, because they didn't quite execute it perfectly. But this is only the first Humankind game, okay? We've got like 4 to 5 years of development on Humankind, and then we're going to get a Humankind 2 10 years down the road. So I'm excited for the prospect here. This is a whole ass franchise that we're watching develop live. We're getting to be a part of it. That's really, really cool. I want Endless Legend 2. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. I'm going to go back into the recording, which means I'm not going to be reading or responding to chat quite as much. But I will be reading chat, and I'll be answering donations. But otherwise, I'm going to be primarily focusing on recording a good video for YouTube. But if you have ideas, I will read them in chat. Okay. Did they fix pollution? We did a review of the patch notes at the start of this stream. If you want to scroll back, you can go check that out. It's the power of YouTube. You can scroll back. That's why I love streaming on YouTube. Okay. Hey, buddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to Humankind, where we're doing the Coruscant Challenge, where we're trying to make the entire world be covered in districts. And it's going quite well. We have a relatively well-established major city. We managed to capture a second city, and we're well on our way, making our way over towards Hagmatanda to grab a third. Now, we are having to fight off a little bit of wildlife and stuff like that, which is kind of being a thorn in our side, but that's not a big, huge deal, because it only slows down our army. It doesn't stop it. Now, in other big news, the Spiffing Brit has annihilated Lewis. Like, it's ridiculous. He's taken his capital city. There's Hunnic horsemen running around all over. It's bad. Lewis is in a bad spot, okay? Lewis picked a bad fight, and maybe he should have rethought what he was doing. So I'm really curious what the outcome of this war will be, because if I have Spiff on my border, I kind of don't mind. It would also actually be a bit of an opportunity for me to attack Lewis myself. There's a few things I have to consider here. We are now the Celts, and so that's going to change some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. Primarily, this era, we're going to be focused on growing population in order to hit our agrarian stars, because we still want to have a good score, even though we're doing the Coruscant Challenge. And I also want to start getting my emblematic quarters up ASAP, and starting to attach more and more territory to my cities. I would like to attach this, but I think I'd like to move it somewhere a little bit more convenient, like right near the border here. This. Yeah, like this spot over here feels about right to me. Like, boom. and then we'll attach that to the city, give it a little bit more room. That will tank the stability in here, so I'll take some time to grab public fountains for a little bit of a stability boost. Where do I want to put my emblematic quarters in my capital? I do want to actually really consider my religion as well, because my cities are starting to convert. So things like obelisks of the gods, I think might be a good move, especially if I like build them forward to pressure my enemies. So I'm going to pop one right here and see if we can get that in a reasonable amount of time, because it's also worth 20 stability in this city, so that's pretty darn good. We'll grab like public fountain and the obelisk of the god and see if we can boost the population and stability in here. Granary and the flood irrigation are going to be the two things that I pick up here. Although flood irrigation maybe is less useful compared to granary. Granary seems quite good to me. I'm working a lot of farmers, and that'll give me an extra farmer slot as well as +2 food for my farmers. That works out quite good. Oh, we're up against a pair of bears. I will fight this manually. Now the cool thing about wildlife is that they're a little bit dumb. Right? Wildlife are not the smartest, tools in the shed. So as long as we can position ourselves relatively defensively, they'll basically kill themselves upon our units. Like this. Boom, boom. And they're dead. Which means we're free to march on Hagmatana. Now, I'll probably want to search and see if there's any units floating about inside Hagmatana before I actually attack the city proper. Why would you say that? Why would you say that my rabbit is behind me loose? You gave me a goddamn heart attack, THD Gaming. What is wrong with you? Why would you do this? Why would you risk getting banned for saying something like that, THD? Why would you do this to me? You understand how hard my heart is pounding thinking that my rabbit is like over there, like eating my carpet and like chewing on wires unsupervised? Why would you type that in chat while I'm making a YouTube video? I actually hate you. I actually fucking hate you. Why would you risk it? Why would you risk it? My God.
Lovely. Impressive. A cultural wonder that makes me want to pull out my toy blocks and go crazy.
Ooh, yeah. Let's go ahead and take the +15 gold per turn. That's pretty good. It might get us one of those stars. What? Oh, Lewis is the liege of the Persians now. Or Spiff is. Good job, Spiff. Well done. I'd like to buy some of your saffron. I think Spiff is kind of scary. Well, the nice thing is I can trade with Lewis now via Spiff. So I'll buy his ambergris for the extra science that it'll give me.
Now that you have trade links with him.
I still don't understand what like triggers these badges. I feel like that needs to be a little bit more transparent. Which angle do I want to attack from? I think I'd like to attack from the river north. They don't have any reinforcements. I can take this on pretty easily. Let's use this. and we'll get a rear attack as well. So I'll step up here. This way I have a rear attack on this guy. We'll use... What do you mean I don't have line of sight? Of course you have line of sight. I guess the walls are blocking your line of sight? What about this guy? This guy's way weaker. Yeah, shoot him. How much damage could we do here? 18. Yeah, that's a way more efficient attack. But I can safely attack here for neutral damage. And I have the archer advantage, so that's fine. The old archer advantage, man. It's a big, big, big advantage in warfare. Boom. Alright, one more turn and we should be able to take this. Yoink Areno. So, we just got our third city. And in order to not take a penalty to my influence, I'll grab small council soon. But we managed to expand to our third city with relatively little actual, expansion on my part required. Morris Cut. Between Old World and Humankind, which do you think developed the 4X genre better? Ooh, that's a hard question. I think they both brought a lot of new, interesting design to the space of 4X. That would be my answer. Oh man, it looks like we got here just in time because it looks like the Mycenaeans were coming over here to grab this as well. All good things must come to an end. The Huns are now liege of all other empires except for one. Well, I'll wait a little while because I'm allied with the Huns, but eventually I will probably be forced to go to war with the Huns. For now, though, we'll just buy all their resources because every resource that we buy is worth 1 to 2 gold in our empire. Based on the... Wow, why would you forward? You forwarded me so hard. Spiff has gone crazy this era. Could somebody give money to this guy to get a new t-shirt? Dude, I am a cheapskate, okay? I buy like 5, 10 euro t-shirts online. And then I wear them until they're threadbare, okay? This is not important to me. Unless I'm like going out to hang out with friends. And then I'll put like, relatively nice clothes on. So I don't think we need to maximize our production this era. I do think I would like to continue to grow my empire here. Stability is going to be a bit of a problem, but that's just going to have to be a problem until we get access to a way to deal with that stability. I don't really want to go the garrison route. I'm going to go ahead and grab my Nemetan here, and I'm going to put a second... Ooh, actually I can't do that. That's interesting. You think, where could I get 2 Nemetans to collaborate? Oh yeah, let's get these luxuries online. That's definitely something we want to spend our influence on for sure. Plus that'll get me a builder star. Amazing. Ooh, minus 50 stability on my cities. Ouch. That's a painful. Yeah, I just don't actually really have very good spots for Nemetans, so I'm gonna accept that they're gonna go somewhere a little bit awkward and just live with it. But I definitely need to get them online ASAP.
Most problems eventually yield to the onslaught of more brains.
Oh my god, there's so many units milling about over here. It's kind of spooky, actually. Let's see if we can get rid of these two. Attack downhill with our melee units, because that should insta-gib these archers. Then we'll go looking. There they go. It's exactly who I was looking for, these boys over here. Why is this guy swirling? Whatever, I don't understand. Did I break it by clicking too quickly? Oh god. Hey, Death Aid, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. I appreciate you, buddy. All right, lovely, perfect. It actually worked. We're in the real timeline now. I'll take out these guys. Yeah, you gotta be careful with your fast clicking, okay? If you're a fast clicker, it's over for you. Oh, it's religion time! Finally, we've actually expanded our religion to the point where we can choose a new belief. Now, if I was gonna make a religion based around like a Coruscant challenge, I feel like I have to like rename this to like Jedi or the Force. Ooh, yeah, the Force. What would we go for? Industry on Forest just seems insane. Respect the bounty of the seas is also kind of crazy in the amount of food you can get. Hunt the infidels. I feel like that's if we were hunting down like the Sith if we were actually Jedi. +5 science and strategic resource deposit. This is pretty dank, actually. Like in the short term. Then again, I could also really be as virtuous as water. It's a lot of stability. The Jedi wouldn't go with the bounty of the seas. The ocean is too full of sand. Oh, I hate sand. Yeah, I think, you know, being a part of the Force, it's all about seeking wisdom. So I'm going to choose this tenet. Which building actually looks the most like a Jedi temple? I actually don't know. I feel like, no, not Taoism. Judaism maybe looks most like a Jedi temple. I think this looks like the most like a Jedi temple, I think, out of all of them. Alright, let's rename it. The Force. I definitely need more religious pressure, so I'm kind of glad that I'm building the Nemetans. Because that little bit of chunk, like that little tiny chunk of faith is just enough to be significant. I definitely feel like I'm going to go for religious hostility this game, for the +5 faith on territory, so I can be the one in control of the religion. There's hydrology, so we can get even more stability. Stability is like the big challenge that I'm facing this era. And it's going to be a while before I can get Imperial power to get Commons Quarters. I should definitely pick up Organized Warfare, though, so I can actually like reinforce my armies together.
You are leaving on humankind has become less.
Oh my god, Spiff has just gone crazy claiming all the land. Let's make sure we don't get like completely left out of the land claiming game.
With 5 farmers' quarters, the people certainly have enough bread. Will 5 circuses be built next?
Alright, let's do another outpost right there. Boom. We want to get a little bit of this land, because we will eventually have to go to war with Spiff. Sorry, Spiff. But you will have to die, I'm afraid. But if I could delay that a little while, I'm okay with that. We could claim another wonder if we wanted to, if there's one that we really wanted. I do feel like Hanging Gardens is like sick as hell. We could get a lot of food out of Stonehenge. Plus it counts as a holy site. Yeah, let's grab the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, I reckon. Boom, that's ours now. Now, which thing am I going to build it on? Well, I have 4 marble, which I think is all of the marble in the world, so that would get me 20% industry, which basically, you know, makes up for the entire industry need I have for the rest of like this era. So yeah, we're going to prioritize that, and then we'll build a small army. Let's pick up Standing Army so we can have access to the Gazete, which is our unique unit for this era. In case we need to go to war with Spiff. I really want to wait until Spiff is like out of like the Huns and not Mongols anymore, and maybe I can get like a bit of a tech lead on him, and then we can take him on. So we have all of our Nemetans built, which means we're getting a ton of food in these cities now. But the stability in Akkad has tanked ridiculously, which was to be expected. But now we can start solving that problem. Part of that problem is the defiant status that the city has. That'll go away in 3 turns. So we're not in quite as dire straits as it would appear. Oh, well. It's already time to pick our next tenant. I wasn't expecting this, but we are following the Force. I like the idea of the Celts following the Force. Let's see, we've got Yield to None. Let's see. Which one do we want, actually? It's kind of a hard decision. These all scale, like, really, really good. I feel like the most Jedi-esque thing would be to protect the weak, maybe. Yield to None as well. Also, kind of, you know, seems like it would be Jedi-y. Ooh, Undertake Pilgrimage is actually really helpful, though. That's a lot of influence saved on picking civics. Like a crazy amount. Yeah, you know what? I never picked the garrison route, so we'll go the garrison route. Protect the weak. You seek wisdom, you protect the weak. That is the way of the Force, in my opinion. Alright, so there is the standing army research, which is perfect. So we have access to iron as well, which is really, really cool. Man, I really don't want to. I don't want to fight these Hunnic hordes. I want them to go away. I wonder how his tech is doing. That would be the thing that would really concern me. Is how good is his technology? I think I should be able to like beat him out though. Ooh, 50% religious district industry cost? I'll take that. Means I could crack out a holy site here real quick. I'll pop it in over here in Akkad on the edge here to put pressure on these guys. It'll cost me almost nothing to build. I think we are going to want at least one harbor this game. So, yeah, I'll place it right there. There's our first agrarian star. We need another 17 population to get silver. We'll keep working away on that. There's sailing research too, +3 money on harbor, which is a prerequisite to getting the very powerful trade buildings in the late game. Our capital city is almost full out of population, which shows that the growth is working. Nature is healing.
An emblematic unit is a living The Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
Boom, there's the Hanging Gardens. Now that's a huge bonus because if we check out this marble now, we're getting a 20% industry boost across our entire empire, as well as a 40% stability boost. So if I come in here to my cities now, you can see we're just up to 300 production per turn. We've got nearly 100% stability, and I'm training an army relatively quickly. I have enough influence to attach more cities, but the question is, do I want to claim more territory? I think I'm going to attach another territory here. That feels like the right move for me. So I'll attach this city. Boom, there's the expansionist star. I'll pop a farm down here, and then I'll probably put a farm adjacent to that as well. So things are coming along nicely. The production I have now is just gonna pop off and snowball like crazy.
Good day to you.
Let's attach a territory to Hagmatana. Boom, there's another expansionist star. So we just need one more territory, which will probably be this one over here, Onu Kalili or whatever it's called, will be our third one. Oh yeah, this is the perfect spot for another Nemeton. That's 26 food, right adjacent to another Nemeton. Amazing. Morbus Cut. Jacob Benson, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. I really appreciate you, Jacob, for becoming a 2.5 member. By the way, if you didn't know, if you're watching this video live or as a VOD on YouTube, fully edited, you can become a member of the channel by clicking the join button below the video. You can give me $2 a month. And you get a special little symbol beside your name in when you leave comments and stuff like that. Isn't that cool? Pay me, okay? Give me your hard-earned money. Hopefully that was a convincing pitch.
Others may eye you with a bit of envy.
All right, nice. Now we've got crazy stability in Akkad, and we can do pretty much whatever we want. So what I want to do is just get like my districts up, because I really, really would also like to get some builder stars. And I've also been neglecting my science and gold now. So it would be a good idea for me to identify maybe a couple of like little areas where I can wiggle in a little bit of extra gold, maybe a bit of science. In the city of Akkad, there isn't really amazing spots to do that, so I'll probably just get myself a couple of extra farmer districts, touching both of my Nemetons, because they get extra adjacency from being adjacent to more farmers districts. And then I'll look into some infrastructure to maybe get a little bit of extra science, like the House of Scribes. Hagmatana definitely needs its production to come up, I would say more than anything. So we'll go ahead and grab the forge, and I will spend money on that. I spend money on the forge. Yes, because it's nearly 25 production multiplied and all that sort of stuff. So that works out pretty well. And it means that every subsequent industrial center that I make is better. Max Colby, thank you. Thank you, Max Colby. Morbus, keep this one in the video. Max Colby, he subscribed. He became a member of the channel. I love you, Max. Thank you so much. Another benefit of being a member of the channel, if you comment on my video and you have that little member swirly thing, you can say whatever you want. You could say something horribly rude about me, and I'll still heart your comment if I spot it. That is a potato promise, okay, that I will absolutely break at my discretion. No, Carlos, it's not an N-word pass. It's okay. You're not allowed to just break the rules of YouTube. I think I'm going to go ahead and pick up craftsmanship here because that's going to be a lot of production for me, and it leads into other buildings like the artisan workshop, which is a level 1 workplace, and then we have the charcoal kiln, which is a level 2 coal thing. A potato promise like a Nuzlocke run. Listen, I have the files, okay? It's happening, okay? It's just not happening right now. I need to be like, this is why I'm doing the streaming thing, because the streaming thing is going to be part of the Nuzlocking. So the more people who show up to my streams and watch my ability to keep a regular schedule, that's when we'll start to see the Nuzlocke, okay? Staufen, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. I love you, buddy. Ooh, I could get 10 food. I think I'll go for the 5 science. My science is a little bit bad. I got plenty of food. Ooh, water curiosities are actually broken.
Your first harbor gives access to endless expanses of the vast blue seas, great voyages and discoveries. Should have done this.
Yoink and yoink. Oh man, there's so many curiosities here for me to pick up, and they're worth so much. 80 gold from a single curiosity. It's like a whole turn's worth of gold for me right now. Man, I have so many irons to get online. I'm gonna have a crazy amount. I hope Spiff is buying them from me. So we built a little bit of a triangle of Maker's Quarters. And if you're wondering, in Humankind, the efficiency of your district increases the more districts you have around them. So if I have if you imagine I have one Maker's Quarter and it has one district adjacent to it, that's more efficient. But it's less efficient than if it had two Maker's Quarters adjacent to it. So it's all about kind of playing chicken and building the biggest block of districts that you feel safe, where you're not like tanking the city's stability in order to like maximize a yield. And I find that the triangle is like the smallest, least optimal function, because a triangle has one district being touched by two other districts, so you're getting double what you would have if you were so if you have two districts adjacent to each other, you have two districts benefiting once. If you have three districts adjacent to each other, you have three districts benefiting twice. So three districts touching in a triangle is quadratically better than two districts touching in a line. I don't know how else to explain that. I'll need to do like an in-depth tutorial on how to think about how to place districts in Humankind. But you want to place them in big fat hexagons, usually, and as big a block as you can without tanking your stability. Least optimal? Least optimal in the sense that, and when I say it's like the least optimal to make a triangle, what I mean by that is, it's obviously most optimal to have like a big blanket carpet of districts, but if you're going to have like the smallest optimal unit of a big optimization is a triangle, so you never want to have a group of districts that's smaller than a triangle. Like that's the lowest you should go. And that's also why I built my Egyptian pyramids in a triangle on the edge of this border here, using the district territory mechanics. Minimum, not least optimal. It's the minimum optimization you want to do. Yes, minimum. Everything beyond that is better. Ooh, I could go for nationalized industries, which would give me +1 farmer slot on city or outpost per farmer slot. I kind of like that idea because it would give me a ton of extra food jobs, which would help me to sustain my cities way into the late game when I start combining them all together. And it'll also just give me generally a ton of room for population and be able to grow and hit my growth start really fast. since I'm going to be growing a lot of population, I'm going to pick up rhetoric for the +1 science per population in my cities. And it's about time, I think, that I started thinking about building a little bit of infrastructure in my cities. We are ready to go up to the next era from a stars point of view, but I don't think I'm ready. I'm going to try to spend like 40 to 50 turns in this era, which means I've got another 20 turns to try to optimize and get extra fame. Because like, what's the point of building Coruscant if you don't get a good score, right? All right, sweet. It's time for another religious development here. +2 money per number of trade routes. That's going to be really good for now, but it's not going to be good for the long term. Ooh, +2 influence on commons quarters feels like it's really good. 15 industry on main plaza. Seems okay, but it's not going to scale very well. This one just feels like it's not a great one. I think I go for show... Eschew Gluttony here? Makes my units cheaper and I can move them further. That'll help me with the eventual war with Spiff. When I try to unite the planet of Coruscant. Or as it shall henceforth be known, Croissant. So I feel like I have, let me check here. Yeah, I've got my gold builder star. So building these district things are pretty good, but I don't need any more this era. So now I can start focusing on a little bit of infrastructure to help things out. Like I don't need stability right now, but I could probably use +1 science from researchers. I'll grab that. +3 money on main plaza isn't very good, but it does lead to a better building later on. But usually the best thing to do is to just color code it. You go for the orange buildings first, and then the food buildings, and then you make your decision from there. So for the next few turns, I'll be spending a lot of time just building these things. I have so many grievances with Spiff. It's amazing. So I can declare war on him pretty much whenever I want. The only thing that matters is when do I flip the switch and start developing a military to actually attack him because he's my ally. Let's attach another territory here. Boom. And that's the final expansionist era star for this era, which is perfect. So we don't have to worry about building any more territory attachments, and we can focus on science, gold, influence, and population growth. Looks like my religion is spreading heavily, which I'm super happy about. Speaking of Akkad, this city is really lacking production, so let's focus on getting these production buildings up. I'm saving most of my money to actually upgrade my military units where it makes sense. My God, there's so many curiosities over here. What is happening? Why is there so many curiosities? I'd like to grab Imperial Power now, and then I'll probably unlock siege tactics so I can start building ballistas during my siege. I reckon the medieval era might be where we start our first war with Spiff. Maybe we liberate Lewis. We take a city from Spiff, maybe a bit of his territory.
Another empire has built and gained the vision of the great lighthouse of Alexandria. Maybe they'll let you...
We've got our silver agrarian star, and we need another 19 population to hit the next one. That might be hard to pull off because we are growing rapidly though, so it might be done. Oh my god, am I already able to fully advance my religion? That's insane. Plus 50 science on cultural wonders is ridiculous. Jesus. Money per alliance. Meditate often. I feel like people who follow the Force would meditate often. I feel like raising monuments isn't like the Jedi thing, even if this would be sick as hell and I would get 100 science per turn out of it, which is like a 50% increase in my science, and I really, really want to do it. It's got to be meditate, okay? If you follow the Force, you meditate. That's how that works. Or if you're like Force sensitive, I'm pretty sure meditation is like part of the Force. I don't know. Listen. I don't know Star Wars lore that well, all right? I just wanted to cover a world in districts. That was my goal.
10 territories. You have built a city spanning more territory than your ancestors could have possibly imagined.
Ooh, I do have the option to actually yoink population from Spiffing Brit for 220 influence, and I'm gonna yoink Areno 6 pops off him. That'll really piss him off, but that's a ton of population to help me finish this star. So now that we have our mega muscle, giant industrial center, we can now start to build these industrial production things and get our industry up to ridiculous levels. We are going to need to worry about stability in here, but we can probably use a different city to build a holy site in here. And that'll cover that. Like I could, in my capital, in Coruscant, I could just come over here and plop down a holy site somewhere random like there. And it'll build that in one turn and sort that city out completely. I don't like that he's running around inside my borders with his little weird cavalry things. Get those things away from me, dude. Time for another wonder, and I don't know if we actually want to grab another wonder. Mausoleum is good for science. I think we wait until the next era. We just save up our influence to get a ton. We are going to be building military very soon. So I'm going to start picking up things like barracks. Do I want that 4 influence per turn? It's a single turn of production for 4 influence per turn. I think that seems pretty reasonable to me. 6 gold here doesn't seem very good. I should probably build walls too, just to keep the city safe, because we are going to be going to war in the near future. And walls make your city so much more protected. So much more protected. Well, there's Imperial Power, so we have access to the Commons Quarter, as well as the Customs Farm, which is a building we definitely want to build, because money from ongoing trade is insane, especially when we're trading so much. But we are running up against the technology limit of this era, so I reckon once I have all these techs researched, that's it. We're going to exit this era and move on to the next one. We're like still not quite ahead. Spiff took the Aztecs. Why would you take the Aztecs? They're so strong. I hate you, Spiff. He's just going from one military civ to another. Like, this is exactly, if I was trying to do this challenge, like, in a live stream with Spiff, this is exactly what he would do. He would just troll me by picking, like, the really powerful things. At least that's what I feel like. Boom, trade, boom, boom, boom. I want to get my gold up a little bit. It would be nice to hit one of these merchant stars a little bit sooner. Oh, these Hunnic hordes are horrendous. Horrendously scary. Horrendously scary units that I'm going to have to deal with in the near future. Well, we may as well start building masses of spearmen to deal with it. Let's start maxing out our gold. I'll build a whole bunch of merchant quarters around my luxury resources over here.
It gladdens my heart to see you this day.
Hakatana is coming along brilliantly. The city has like nearly 500 production, which makes me super proud of it. The only thing it's lacking is actually a little bit of science and stuff like that. So I reckon we put a few commons quarters on the edge of this muscle of industrial quarters. Oh yeah, I did go for the extra stability on garrison, so we could do that instead. Actually, we could go for the garrison style play, which might actually line up nicely with like fortifying our border here with a few extra garrisons with some of these guys. So, well, I've already built these commons quarters, so we'll accept it. But for the sake of, defending our borders, sure, we'll throw down a couple of extra garrisons. So 2 turns from now, we'll be heading to the next era. We've made massive progress this this era. Like we are steamrolling now. I feel like we're not quite top of the board for score, but at least as far as I'm concerned, we're in an amazing position to actually take over this game in the medieval era.
5 market quarters isn't a sign of greed.
All right, boom. Let's advance. So we're up against the Mongols. We can deal with the Mongols. The Mongols aren't as scary as the Huns because these units are like insanely difficult to mass and they're not that much stronger. And we have access to pikemen now. So if I'm thinking, I have to kind of think about, I want to attack Spiff, I want to kill Spiff, and I want to take some of his land. But I also have to think long term. Like, how do I actually build a gigantic, stable city with a district on every tile in the world? And that requires a little bit of, it's a difficult challenge. It's a difficult challenge. So stability and food are going to be my biggest challenges for keeping that city from like collapsing and dying. And from that point of view, maybe something like the English looks kind of interesting because that's +7 food per number of attached territories on city or outpost. Now, the one downside of that is the population maintenance requirement scales kind of semi-quadratically. So the more population you have, the more food each population eats. And this is a pretty linear bonus that runs out pretty quick. And it's just like a slightly better bonus than what the Celts offered us. And then we also get a stronghold. The longbowmen actually could be very useful for beating Spiff because these are like very long range, very strong units that don't need a clear line of sight to attack, which could be really useful in the war. The Kamai are also insane. +3 industry on Maker's Quarters is just ridiculous. And then +1 production per population is also ridiculous. Like, Kamai, to me, feels just like the right move almost all the time. The Teutons are quite good. Not really scaling the way that we want to for a Coruscant build. We're looking for stability or food, because those are our 2 biggest challenges that we're going to come up against trying to do this build. On that respect, the Norsemen aren't amazing either, although they could be like a temporary boost from that money from ransacking. The Umayyads, not so great either. Again, very flat. Like the English, I think I'm tempted just for the longbowmen, but if I'm going to go for a unit-based bonus, then maybe the Kamai for food and production, which would help me build like actually covering the city in things. And then also the Kamai unique unit is really, really powerful. It's a 42 combat strength with 3 range. Like if I was able to get this, military architecture isn't that far into the tech tree. It's like right there. I could go straight for military architecture and 5 turns from now be pumping out elephants. And I think that's how I beat Spiff this game. So as much as it pains me to pick the Kamai because they're always the most powerful thing to go for, we're going to be picking the Kamai because elephants are just insane. And with that, that's going to be the end of this episode. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Right. That's it, lads. We locked in the Kamai. We saved the game. This will be Coruscant 002. The stream isn't over, but I think we're not going to play Humankind anymore. Because there's not enough time to record another episode. So we're just going to hang out, maybe play some Gartic Phone, do some memes. Is that how Khmer is pronounced? Yes, it's pronounced Kamai. At least that's what I was told by people in my chat. multiple times, is that it's Kamai. Stream needs more rabbit. She's fine. She's just being fluffy over there in the corner. But like, I think this is an interesting challenge. Now I did it on the smallest map because what I want to do in future is to do like maybe like a 24-hour charity live stream, where I do something absurd, like try to like fill in a huge map with every district possible using a single city. Like that would be just an insane challenge, but I think that would be fun to do, like for a thing. But yeah, look, this is an important concept for you to get if you're going to play Humankind. Is that these? There's no real easy way to describe it, but like if we have a district on its own, it's exploiting all the land around it. That's fair enough, awesome, brilliant. If we have two districts adjacent to each other, they provide a benefit to each other. Like if I open up my industrial zones here, they get they get +3 industry for every adjacent maker's quarter. So if I put a maker's quarter down, it's getting 0 bonus, okay? If I put a maker's quarter down adjacent to that, it's getting 3. So it's getting 3 across 2 districts, which is 6 total yield, right? Bonus from being adjacent. If I put 3 maker's quarters in like a triangle, each one is getting 6. So you go from getting 6 to 18 because you're getting 6 3 times. And then, so that is the smallest efficient unit that you want to do is a triangle. Because once you get to the triangle, adding another district that is touching at least 2 districts doesn't really maximally, like, that's now you're just kind of getting slightly better. Now, where it gets really awesome is when you do a full loop. Because if you have, oh man, I really need paint. I need paint to explain this, I think. Not patane, paint, thank you. I really need paint to explain this, hang on. We'll use the power of paint, okay? So we can explain this concept. All right, you select transparent selection, Control CV. Control CV. Control CV. There. So like if you think about this, right? If we put down one industrial zone, with one industrial zone, okay? Let's write down our assumptions. Assume +3 per. No, you know what? We could. It's actually simpler if we just do assume +1 per industry quarter. Okay. If we assume we're getting +1 from one industrial quarter, am I dumb? I don't find the subscribe button anymore. You can't subscribe on Twitch. I'm not an affiliate, unfortunately. So if you have 1, you have no adjacents, okay? There are 0 adjacents to this district. So you're getting 0x is the bonus, okay? You're getting 0x. If we add a second one, okay? Both of these districts are now touching each other. That's the wrong color. Both of these districts are now touching each other. This is number 2. So now you're getting 2. There's a touch here. So we're getting 1x the bonus. Okay, so that means it increased by +1x. Okay, where x is the amount of production you get per adjacent district. 0x, just like all you nerds in chat. All right. So then we go to 3. And now here's the big jump. This is where things get interesting. Okay, when we go to 3, now we're getting, because the formula is, now we're getting, right? We're getting 1x across 2 districts. That's what we're getting, across 2 districts. So that would be, oh God, you count the connections. So like each of these is getting this. So this is actually 1, 2. So that's 2x. And then you multiply it by this number, right? So this is 0. This is 2. This is 6. Because you count the connections, right? So going from, which means this increased by 2, this increased by 4. If we add another district, the increase is the same as the last one. The increase is the same because we're adding one district that's touching 2 other districts. Right? It's only touching 2 other districts. So that's going to add 4x times 2x. Okay, because on average, each district is touching 2 districts. It's not quite that simple because it's actually now it becomes a little bit more complicated because it's 3x or 3 multiplied by 2x plus 1 times 4x. So that's what it actually becomes. And that means you're getting 3, 6x. This is like tough maths, okay? I want to make sure we put brackets around these things so we understand that they're being separated. So this is 6 plus 4, that's 10. But you'll notice that the difference, the jump here, is the same. Okay? So you want to build at least 3, because this is the minimum value that you want to be like getting to, is 3 districts all touching each other. I hope that like makes sense. Now, if we continue on, there's another minimum. There's another optimal unit, and that's when you get to all 6. So adding a district from here on out just increments this number and this number up until we get to the last one. So we can run through these 2 examples really, really quickly, actually. If we go to 5 and 6, that's actually, I actually messed this up, didn't I? Because this is a 3x. Hold on, let me double check that I did this right. 1 times 4. You're touching 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, no, I messed this up. Hang on, sorry. Hold on, rewind. YouTube rewind. Sorry, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 2 districts touching 2 districts, and then you have 2 districts touching 3 districts. Okay, mathematically this still works out to 10. I just did the maths wrong. Okay, my bad. We're not considering the ground around it being exploited. That's just kind of like not, we're considering what's the optimal way to like group districts. Sorry, I did the math slightly wrong. So now when we add a district, we're only really kind of moving around these numbers and adding one. So like if we go up to 5, oh, that's the wrong color. Can I how do I assign you to a different color? There you go. So if we put in 5 now, what we've done is we've increased the number of districts that are touching 3 districts by 1. But we've also increased the amount of district this one is touching. So now it becomes 2x3x plus 1x 1 multiplied by 4. I should probably use like a different multiplication sign, but this is still I should really use a different multiplication sign, but it's whatever. So this is still 4, this is still 6, and now this is 4, and now we're up to 14. But you can see every increase is still going up by 4, right, up to this point, and that's going to remain true for the next increase as well. I don't know if I'm even explaining this well. The easiest way to show this would be 2 times number of connections, maybe. Right, so now, oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, for God's sake, can I do this, please? Thank you. So now we're up to 6. So this is where this is right before things get interesting, because the only thing that changes is it's basically the same still. Still 2 times 2. I should probably use a different symbol, like 2C, okay? Connections. No, that's harder to even use. You know what? We're sticking with the X, all right? Maths is hard. We have now 1, 2, 3 districts touching 3 other districts. So this is 3 times 3x. And then we have 1 district touching 5. So this becomes 1x for 1 times 4x. And that still goes up to just 18. Right, because this is 4. This is 9. 4 plus 9 is 13. Wait, 17? Hang on, did I do this right? Hold on. 2 times 2x. You're benefiting twice. You're benefiting twice. Oh, sorry. This should be a 5. My bad. Whoops, did my math slightly wrong. So this is 4 plus 9 is 13 plus 5 is 18. So you can notice every jump is still only 4. This is where things get interesting. Like when we get to 3 here, the optimal number is going to jump. This formula is going to collapse into a singularity and be much neater. Because now when we do the 7th one, we make a muscle, right? That's what I'm going to call them. This is a block of 7 districts is a muscle. Now, every district is touching 3 districts, with the exception of the middle one, which is touching 6. So it becomes 6 times 3x plus 1 times 6x. And that is a much more efficient configuration, because the efficiency jumps here slightly, because this becomes 18, it becomes 24. So you can see, once you get to here, adding districts is the same level of efficiency as the jump from 2 to 3, all the way, because you're getting plus 4 every time, right? You're getting plus 4, because you have to think about the number of connections you're adding, right? You get plus 4 until you get to the 7th one, when you make a muscle and you make like a big group, and then you get plus 6. And now things get even more interesting when we go beyond this. Oh, fuck, this is meant to be a transparent paste. Hold on. How can I add to this? Shice. Basically, the point is, now that we've reached this is like your main optimal position. Now add in commons quarters. So at 6 districts in a super triangle, you'd get 4x4. Yeah. Anyway, does what I just did make sense, right? Every time you're adding a district, the efficiency of you adding district goes up, because this, like, it goes plus 2, and that's why you want to get to, that's why 3 is a breakpoint. Like, you want to have a triangle of districts is like one of the minimums, because that gets you an efficient amount of connections. And then adding a district isn't really a big deal until you get to 7. And then it becomes a big deal again when you add another 3 districts to a block like this, like boom, 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 because this one is touching 2, this one is touching 2, but this last one is touching 3. So now, from now on, if you're adding districts to this block of districts correctly in a formation that looks like 1, 2, 3, like this, like you're building it out like boop, boop, boop. Now the perpetual formula is +4, +4, +6. That's what it looks like. So from now on, +4, +4, +6 is the efficient way that goes on for forever. And so that's why I say, if you want to play efficiently and design your cities efficiently, you want as big a block of districts as possible, because the average yield per district goes up the more districts you have in a block. Okay, does that explain it? And that's why I say that the minimum smallest unit is 3, and then the next optimal unit is 7, and then beyond that it just gets more efficient. Did all that make sense? Doesn't this show that exploitations are usually way more powerful than connections? No, you're wrong, because this isn't +1 production. This is +1x. This is x, where x is the amount of production you get for each adjacent district, which can be like +7 in the late game. This is like +7 in the late game. So it's 24 times 7 production. Okay? If you consider a single, you know what I mean? Because there's another multiplier we're not considering, and that's how much production you actually get for each district. Like if I go back to the game here, right, look, I'm getting 27 production on this Maker's Quarter. 7 is coming from the forge, 7 is coming from the charcoal kiln, right? Does that make sense? Because you're getting a significant, and that's only counting the adjacency. That's not even counting the fact that this is potentially exploiting tiles around the edge of this muscle of districts. Because if we look in the detect tree, where is it? There's like forge things here somewhere. Furnace steel, right? Here's another +1 to the adjacency of your Maker's Quarters. Boom. Right? So now you're going from 24 times 3 to 24 times 4. And then there's another one. There's a coal one up here somewhere. If I could remember where it is. Yeah, and then you've got things like sawmills. Here's another sawmill, which is just flat increases, which scales linearly with the amount of districts you have. Not quite as good as adjacency, but still good. Here's your coal plant, right? +1 industry on Maker's Quarters per adjacent Maker's Quarter. That's so much good. Sawmill is better if you build a line of districts. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that you should always build the biggest possible group of districts imaginable. What I am saying, though, there are certain breakpoints where the efficiency of how you group your district matters. And one of those breakpoints is when you have a triangle of districts. And the part of the reason why I consider the triangle one of the most efficient arrangements of districts is because if you have a triangle of districts, like I have over here, they're actually able to not only give each other the minimal optimal sort of adjacency bonus, they're also able to exploit the tiles adjacent to them, right? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to need to like download this VOD and edit it together into its own video, because this is like here, right? Here's 3 Maker's Quarters adjacent to each other, and they're also generating production from working the tiles adjacent to them. So not only are they in like the minimally optimal position to like work together, this will also combine together, right? Because they're using these exploitations. They're exploiting the land around them, which can also be boosted through other means. So that's why when I say all the time, you want to build things in triangles. That's why. It's because a triangle is a compromise between building things in a big line and exploiting as much terrain as possible, and building things in a giant cluster, tanking your stability, using up endless amounts of production to build a giant efficient block of things. And then the next step up from that is a 7 arrangement, a hexagon. So like if you want to go bigger than a triangle, go to like a diamond. Like any shape beyond that is the same efficiency until you get to a big 7 hexagon like the one in this picture, right? So that's why I would say build this, and then if you want to work your way over here, just know that you're not getting much more out of this until you get to the 7th one. And so maybe a triangle is better where you do like triangle, 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 triangle. You build like little groups of triangles and then try to weave them together into a big canvas. Does that make sense? Can I make a triangle of hexagons? Yes, you can. This point right here. If we draw a line, I zoomed in too much. What am I doing? What am I doing? If we draw a line between each triangle, boom, boom, or between each hexagon, that's a triangle. Also Illuminati, right? That's why we say it's a triangle, right? Don't be a dumbass, right? Don't be trying to smart in my house. You get 18x out of the 6th hexagon if you put it between the 3 and 4. What? The only thing that matters in terms of efficiency, here's how to think about it, okay? If you want a simplified answer, okay? The only thing that matters is when you're placing a district, how many districts of the same type is it touching, okay? If it's touching 2 districts, you're getting +4. If it's touching 1 district, you're getting +1. If it's touching 3 districts, you're getting +3. That's all you have to think about. Kick-Ass Duke donated. Now how to deal with the stability from all those, where to drop in a comments quarter. Very, very good question. So this, I kind of need more canvas room. Can I like resize this whole thing? Like, can I make this like a little bit smaller? Yeah, okay, that worked. Okay, so that's a great question. It's a great, 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 great follow-up question. So stability-wise, what's the most efficient thing to do here? Well, you can get to this configuration and you have essentially 2 choices. I don't think this is actually good enough. I think I need to like Control C this and then resize this whole thing again by another like 70%. And then make it bigger like this. So we take this, we paste this, we make it a little bit smaller. It's kind of like weird looking now. But let's say we take another copy of this and we wanted to study like the stability effects. We'd have to do a little bit of managing here. Oh, God damn it. So you essentially have 2 directions that you want to go in, and it really depends on what your style is. Oh, God damn it. If the number of districts you have doesn't matter to you, it's about the right size. Can I copy paste this? Control C? No, I cannot. I cannot copy paste it. That's unfortunate. You're a little bit too big. Let's get you in position and smallify you. Perfect. me just try and make a hexagon of about the right size, and then actually copy paste it. So we can make this a bit of a larger example. Now we're getting into dangerously scuffed territory here, but you guys are just gonna have to accept that that's the way I roll. I'm amazed that you haven't just made a fucking grid. Listen, dude. Dangerously scuffed, okay? All right. So you've basically got two options for how you deal with this. Gotta erase this shit. Fuck me. So the stability cost, I'll use a nice bright purple to denote this. The stability cost is presumably 70, okay? Because you have 7 districts, right? 7 districts, each of them takes 10 stability. We're assuming you don't have the bonuses or whatever. You don't have the Zhou for the +2 stability per district. You don't have any of that stuff. So what do you do? Well, one of your first options is to just turn this middle district, never ever turn it into an industrial zone, and instead just have it be a commercial, a commons quarter. What this will do is it will take away one of these. Oh, wrong color. We'll take away one of these, make that 6 times. No, I actually kind of like the purple. It'll cost you -6 times 10 stability, but it'll give you plus, I want the stability to be in purple, plus 1 times, or sorry, 6, oh my god, 6 times, I should just change my colors instead of trying to do this really scuffed, and you'll end up with, because each of these is taking 10 stability, your commons quarter is touching 6 districts, so now you give up, in this formula right here, in order to get to this configuration, here's what you've just done. What the fuck did I just do? Okay. Here's what you do. When you've done this, what you've done is you've changed the stability formula from this here to this, and you've also changed this production formula from this suspension, suspense, 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 suspense to this. You just erase this last thing. That's it. And then you delete that too. Okay, this probably would have been easier if I had just did it. So this becomes times 2x. No, that's too thin. My numbers aren't fat enough, dude. My beats. 2x. So that becomes 12. Right? So you have the efficiency of your districts by putting a commons quarter in the center of a muscle. So really think about that. You have the efficiency of this entire connectivity thing, right? Of getting those adjacency bonuses. You have the efficiency, but you more than have the influence cost. Because this is now only going to cost you like 30 influence or 30 stability to keep running, okay? So you have the efficiency, but you also more than have the stability cost. What I would argue what you should do is actually just leave this the way it is. There you go. Leave this the way it is and put like your commons quarters like this. You can either do like that. Now that costs you 3 districts, right? For sure. For sure that costs you 3 districts. But this will give you 30 stability, which will bring you down to minus 40 on this one. The other option you have is just to like, yeah, I think that's what I would probably do myself. And you're basically trading production adjacency for stability. 1 second. Sorry, my nephew was knocking on my door, and I don't want him to be on camera because he's just a kid. If 3 and 6 were commons, you would keep 2 triangles. That's actually a good point. But that's a good it's a good point. However, we just have to consider, like, if we're thinking about what we want to be doing is constantly adding like 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2. If we want to be adding like 1, 2, 3 industrial zones to keep this pattern of 4, 4, 6 up, if we just add commons quarters at 3 and 6, that just kind of like destroys our ability to do that, right? Because now when we go 1, 2, 3, one of our adjacencies that was making this whole operation efficient is taken up by a commons quarter. So yeah. So if you can try to, like, if you want to just do triangles, right? That's fine. That's totally valid in my opinion. If you wanted to do it like this, like if you were to do it like this, it would probably end up looking a bit like this kind of a pattern, where you sacrifice a little bit, like half your adjacency on your industry district, but every single industry district is being touched by 2 commons quarters, which means they're costing you 0 stability. Now, in reality, you often have plenty of stability for some of your stuff, so you could probably make like this one an industrial zone, you know, and then you have that nice efficient block. So yeah. I think you need to be 3 bunches in between the commons quarters. How I actually prefer to use commons quarters is like I could never really make it work. But here's what I prefer to do, if at all possible, is like, say I'll have like something like this. Can I get a transparent selection, please? Nope. Oh, I need to use white if I'm doing transparent selection. Sorry. Want white to be transparent. My bad. So what I would actually prefer to do is maybe something. God damn it. Control Shift Z. How do I redo? Let me just make. It's not going to work like this, is it? It's going to just be a bastard. Let's say we had like a lattice of districts here. What I would prefer to do is probably have like a whole bunch of industrial zones, say, and then do like a straight line of whatever is the commons quarter, and then on the other side I would have like a bunch of farms, like a whole line of farms, and then use the commons quarters like a way to like separate out the different industry stuff from my other things, right? So I'd have like, because this is pretty efficient, because you don't always need to get all of your stability from your district. You can kind of make up for it from other ways. So you might do something like this. Like if I were in game, I would go like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna like draw a line. Let's see if I can find a good example. Maybe here. So I would be like, all right, I'm gonna have like a line of commons quarters here, and then on the right side I'll put farms, and on the left side I'll put industrial zones. That way I get the advantage of having a little bit of stability from these commons quarters, but they're not messing up my adjacency, and that helps because I'm getting stability from other sources. So yeah. Anyway. Isn't it inefficient to put comms in a line? It is inefficient to put commons quarters in a line, but you're making a balance. If you remember, we were talking about this. You're making a balance between giving up adjacency on your actual productive districts and getting as much stability as possible. And this is like a calculated, this configuration is like a calculated compromise between the fact that we don't need to get all of our stability from commons quarters and that we have other sources of stability, and we still want to maintain high adjacency on our districts. So building something like that, you might like separate out blocks of districts by commons quarters, because that way, because each of these is worth like plus 40. Because each of these is plus 40 stability. Every single one of them. Which means like, and I get to retain like all of the extra adjacency. It's more productively, it's more intense. But I don't know, that just appeals to me. Whereas like this one is like plus 60. Right, in comparison. But then all these other districts just have worse adjacency. They're plus 20. Sorry, plus 20. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, plus 20. Sorry, plus 20. So they pay. So each of these pays for like a district here and a district here. And so if you build this line, basically every district that touches this line of commons quarters is paid for. Whereas in this version, because it's plus 30, this pays for like 1, 2, 3 districts. And so that's why you might actually build them in a lattice if you want to like completely pay for the stability cost, but you often have other sources of stability, right? There's a ton of sources of stability in the game. If we look around, like we can probably find some. Especially in the late game, where this kind of configuration is going to be pretty relevant. Yeah, like plus 2 stability from researchers, right? That gives you extra buffer room where you don't need the most efficient ones. See, there's more around here somewhere in terms of stability. So like not every ounce of stability you have in your city needs to come from a commons quarter, basically. I know it's really satisfying to think of it like that, like, oh, everything is like perfectly neatly fitting together into a perfect crystal lattice. It's not efficient. Like here's plus 1 stability per population in all cities. Plus 1 stability per population. Plus 1 stability on districts. So that's a 10% discount on every district. But yeah, hopefully that explains my thoughts. Is staying above 90 a priority? I would say generally speaking, you do want to stay above 90 if possible. Falling below 90 isn't the worst thing in the world. Is doing the stability project worth it at all? Rarely. Like if we look at this, it's 1,000 production right now in my game, whereas I could build a garrison and get 10 stability out of it for 800. So it's kind of like a bit of a calculus you have to do. It probably is worth it sometimes, but I would say that it's quite rarely worth it. If you're building districts exclusively for stability, and this is more cost efficient stability, then you should go for the games. But yeah, don't forget, stability will work itself out later in the game. And then don't forget that there's also specific civs you can pick that'll give you insane stability, like the Austro-Hungarians and stuff like that. I feel like the projects in Humankind are pretty undertuned. I feel like there's a lot of areas of the game that are very, very undertuned. Are projects permanent? Projects are permanent. Like if we look at some of these things, like the tax office is like one of the most egregious examples of an undertuned building. Where is it? Yeah, +3 money on your main plaza. Are you having a laugh? Right? We go back here to like Stoneworks. It's +1 production per tile. That is stone. +1 production per forest. And you want me to spend some absurd amount of like 800 production building a building that gives me 3 gold per turn. Not good enough. It really should be like 1 gold per population or 1 gold per territory or something. There should be a little bit more tax. It's so bad. It's so painfully bad and so painfully obviously bad that it's kind of embarrassing. But I'm going to go make my dinner. I'm going to go upload tonight's video. I love you all very much. Thank you guys for watching. If you're on Twitch, we will raid someone. We're going to go check the Humankind category and raid someone. Let's have a look. Twitch.tv. This is your opportunity to suggest to me who you'd like me to raid on Twitch. Also, hi Buzz, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, some projects and infrastructure feel super. No, I never, ever, ever want autoplay, okay? Nobody asked for autoplay sound on any website ever. Stop. Let's go to the bottom of the list. Raid chess. Okay, chess category, raid, incoming. I'm not raiding Hikaru. I want to raid someone who's like... No, my people don't want to watch chess. Maybe this is a terrible idea. Alright, Twitch. Let's do a raid on Twitch. Who are we doing? I need suggestions. I need real suggestions. Who are we raiding? Are you a full-time streamer? Do you have another job? I'm a full-time streamer, buddy. Pokemon challenges. Is he streaming? You know what? Let's do Pokemon challenges. Hold on. I don't want to get... stream manager. Raid. Fuck me. His like thing is like long and complicated to type out. Can I just copy paste it? Because, oh my god. There you go. Raid Pokemon challenges. Alright. There we go.